try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wish Black Friday deals lasted longer? Good news! At Oro Ford, Black Friday deals last all month long. Get $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ford Expeditions, Ford Edges, and Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford's the only Ford dealer with zero city sales tax and no dealer add-ons. Stuff your plate with savings all November long at Oro Ford's Black Friday sale. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the home of the best coverage of your Arizona Diamondbacks and Major League Baseball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And here's the direct snap to Savion Williams, straight ahead for the first down, rolling to the right, down to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown. Wow. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Arizona had played outstanding defense up until that play.
Yeah, up to the last two
plays.
The
last two plays, you're right.
Yeah. Well, they had a golden opportunity to go in at the half, but they just gave up an easy run. He just basically ran untouched into the end zone.
Brian Jeffries reminded me there of a scene from the great movie New Jack City where Nino Brown is with G-Money's lady, and she says, "That's too bad." And he says, "You GD right, that's too bad." And with that, the quest for a bowl game is over for the Arizona Wildcats football team. Who would have thunk a year ago at this time, about this time, coming off one of the biggest shellackings ever by an Arizona Wildcats football team over the rival Arizona State Sun Devils on their field, similar to what they had done to us, not as many points, but similar to what they had done to us on our field just 3 years earlier, that same Sun Devils team would be coming to town a year later as a 9-point favorite on the opening line at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook, and with a chance to go not only to the Big 12 championship game, but potentially to the college football playoff. The same Sun Devils team that when we sat at Allegiant Stadium back in early July, we talked about being picked 16th in the Big 12. And now the team that finished 16th, was picked to finish 16th in the Big 12 has a chance to be number one in the conference. That, I don't know if that's the beauty of college football right now and where we are, but it is very NFL-like, which is what college football is becoming. It's becoming a lot like the NFL. In the NFL, you can go from being not so good to pretty good in a season with the right moves. And that's what's happened for this Arizona Wildcats team. They've made a few good moves, but it's largely, obviously they've got a good young transfer quarterback in Sam Levitt. I mean, that right there was move number one. But outside of that, it's still a lot of the same guys that were on that field and got crushed last year, embarrassed at home by Arizona Do you like this version of college football right now, where a team can look absolutely dreadful? Whatever happened to Jaden Rashada? Is that his name? Jaden Rashada? Is he even playing anywhere this year? He was awful at quarterback for them last year in that game. I mean, dreadful. But when you got an offensive-minded head coach like a Kenny Dillingham, first and foremost, you got to go out and find a quarterback that fits your system, fits what you want to do, and he's clearly done that with this Sam Levitt. And now they're on the verge. They control their own destiny. They control their own destiny. Now, some crazy stuff could happen this Saturday. If you weren't with us on our post-game show Saturday night, we laid it out. If certain things go down, there could literally be an 8-way tie for first place in the Big 12. You could have 8 teams at 6-3. Then the math gets fun about who goes to the Big 12 championship game. It's bowl week here in Tucson because this is it. You got one last shot. These guys, this version of Arizona football has one final shot to go out with some glory on Saturday, beating their rivals, knocking them potentially out of a chance to play in the Big 12 championship game, and probably with a win, knocking them out of the college football playoff. That's what you're playing for when Arizona and Arizona State meet in the Territorial Cup game for the 98th time at 1:30 on a Saturday in November in Arizona. Are you ready? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Well, a lot to get into. Again, we're not taking any vacations this week. It's Territorial Cup week. We do have regular shows today and tomorrow. Then we'll be knee-deep in basketball Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Have you ever been to Atlantis? The Atlantis Hotel in Nassau, J-Dub?
I have never been to the Bahamas, no.
No, you've never been to the Bahamas? Okay.
Nope.
All right. I went, last time I was there so this is a very interesting story. I'll tell it maybe as quickly as I can. So year 1999, Christmas parties are coming up, right? Year 1999, I was working for what was then called Clear Channel Radio in Cleveland. Now it's iHeart Media. And we had our Christmas party. And one of the many gifts that was doled out at the Christmas party was a trip for 2 to the Bahamas. And it just so happened that I won that trip to the Bahamas at the company Christmas party in 1999. So at the time I was dating this young lady, and so the initial plan was, oh, cool, nice trip to the Bahamas for me and the lady friend. Well, right around mid-February, me and the lady friend broke up. So then
this sounds a lot like an Office episode I once saw, by the way.
Exactly right. So I ended up taking my buddy, who you've heard on this program a number of times. He covers the Suns up in Phoenix, Daryl Joyner. He was working in Cleveland as a TV sports anchor at the time. That's where we first met. And so I took my buddy. So me and my buddy Daryl went to the Bahamas. And we didn't stay at the Atlantis because, of course, Clear Channel wasn't, we were like at the 3-star hotel, two hotels down from Atlantis, but we could see Atlantis from on our balcony. We could see the Atlantis, and we went over there and we hung out at the Atlantis, and we kind of, hijacked their beach and went into the casinos. It's the nicest hotel. You've seen it. It's big high rise. It's got kind of like a three-pronged open look to it. And they've got this, one of the world's largest water slides, which I would never. I'm not into roller coasters really, and I'm definitely not getting on any 10, 12 story water slide that's going to shoot me down. And I don't know, because knowing me, I would freak out and twist my leg the wrong way and come back with half a leg or something. So I would never go down there.
You don't want to do that.
But it is. You've probably seen it. It is one of the largest water slides, I think, maybe in the history of the world, or at least on this side of the world. So we hung out. We would hang out at night at Atlantis because they had really cool clubs there. And I think it was February. I think it might have been right around NBA All-Star time because we ran into a number of NBA players that were down there that weekend. It might have actually been after the season's over, near the season. I can't remember exactly what time of year we went. We might have actually gone in late April, mid-April, late April, sometime around then. But yeah, we did run into a number of NBA guys down there. But it's a beautiful facility, the Atlantis Hotel Casino, if you've ever been there. If you've been there, I'd like to hear from you about what you thought about where the Wildcats are going to be headed. They actually have already headed there. They left yesterday, and they are on the ground and getting ready for their game on Wednesday against Davidson, coming off the loss Friday night against Duke. And we'll get into that a little bit as well. I had a chance to watch the tape and, came up with a few thoughts on that. Watched both the tape last night of the football game and the basketball game. Kind of had them both rolling at the same time on different devices, and, a few new thoughts on each one of those games as well. Caleb Love, JW, I think we saw him make one aggressive play to the basket all night long, and that was that transition bucket that he had in the first half. I think I just like to see him when he's not, and we talked about this ad nauseum last year. When he's not hitting shots, he's got to be more aggressive to the basket. And this is like probably total Jedi mind trick kind of thing for me, but there's a part of me, because there were times last year that I thought that Caleb was holding a little bit back at times to see what he could get from the rest of his teammates. And there's a part of me that wonders, we have not seen a very aggressive Caleb so far, at least in these last two games. Really, you could say in these 6 games that they've played, going back to the 2 exhibition games, we didn't kind of really see an aggressive Caleb Love in those games either. And I don't know that we've seen a truly aggressive Caleb Love in any of these 4 regular season games already. And there's a part of me that says maybe they're holding something back. Because look, we saw what happened last year. They went through this preseason. They played all these difficult games. They won them. It was great. It got them to the Sweet 16, but ultimately it didn't get them to the Final Four, which is where you want to get. You got all these new players, and there's a part of me that says maybe Tommy's just saying, hey, we need to see if other guys can take over and if other guys can make stuff happen. I know what you can do. This is still the early season. We're going to play some tough games. I don't want you going out there and taking over games, because I need to see what Jaden can do. I need to see what KJ can do. I need to see if KJ can control himself after he makes a basket and not get the team a technical foul. Because it just doesn't make sense to me that Caleb is not being aggressive in these 2 games. So there's the Jedi mind trick part of me that says this is all by design, that Tommy's told him, you just don't do anything crazy in these first 2 games. I need to see in these first two difficult games, I need to see what other guys can do. That's probably me just being crazy, but it doesn't make sense to me that Caleb is not playing more aggressive, has not played more aggressive in these first 2 games. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We can get into that as well. Cardinals lost yesterday. Sometimes the bye week is not a good thing. Well, and you knew it was not going to be easy. It's never easy going up to play Seattle, even back when they were really, really good It's a tough environment, and the offense just wasn't. Their defense actually didn't play that poorly. Defense did what they probably needed to do. You hold a team to 16 points. I think more often than not, you're going to win a game in the National Football League, but just not yesterday because Kyler Murray and the offense could not get much anything going, and you throw a pick six. So, yeah, they really held them to 9 points because you got 7 points off the pick six.
I brought up the play-by-play in that game, and it was so amazing because it was punt, 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 field goal, punt, punt, punt.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first, 10 possessions.
Yeah. So, back at it. And, again, there are going to be a lot of road games. There are going to be a lot of road games for the Birds on the second half of this season. So they're going to have to win a few more of these games away from home because they got quite a few of them, the majority of them. I think they got 3 home games left. What are they now? 4 and 5, or 6 and 5. So what do they play? 17 games. So they got 6 games left, and I believe 4 of them are on the road.
We do have some slight breaking news.
Ooh.
In Maui, at the Maui Invitational,
yes,
the 2-time defending national champion Connecticut Huskies, the number 2 ranked team in the country, they just lost in overtime in the semifinals to the Memphis Tigers, 97-99. That game just went final.
Wow. Penny, I guess firing the whole staff 2 weeks before the season kind of works out sometimes, huh? Penny got it going there. That's a big win for the Memphis Tigers. Good for them. All right, so we already have an upset in college basketball to start the week. The Wildcats fall to number 24. They stay in the top 25, so good thing there, but they are on the edge of the top 25.
Speaking of top 25, you're talking about the Teacup, and I had to bring up all the AP polling for both universities. So later in the show, DK, we're going to have to talk about how few years these two programs have ever been good at the same time.
Exactly.
Once.
Right. Well, 10 years ago.
2014.
10 years ago.
Yep. 2014, they played for something in this week. It meant something, DK. I have all of the AP polls for both programs, and I'm going to line them up together and let you know how many years in the last 25 years both schools have been ranked at the same time.
There we go. DK on the sports tip. JW Madness here. We've got Dragon Ball on traffic today, so we will hear from him throughout the show, and we'll dive in. He owes me some beer in the 4 o'clock hour because his Steelers lost in the snow
game
to the Browns.
Such a good snow game.
How about that? Do we really want to build a dome in Cleveland when we can get a snow game every once in a while?
Gotta have snow games. Snow games are a part of the NFL. I gotta have snow games.
Hey, we do. You do. Absolutely. All right, DK on the sports tip, much more straight ahead. Want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. Get your thoughts on all things Arizona football, basketball. We'll dive into the ladies. They got into a little trouble, but were able to win on Saturday night and a whole lot more. Dragon Ball right now, though, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. We have an accident with injuries at East Fort Lowell and Alvernon Way. This is causing slowdowns in all directions right now as they try to get that cleared out. And we got I-10 westbound. There's a crash on the right shoulder near milepost 264 by the Palo Verde Boulevard exit. Be aware of that if you're on the I-10 westbound. For your weather, we're at mid-70s right now. Expected to drop to the 60s here once we get to 6 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
When you donate a toy, we will donate a toy. It's our annual gift back to our community.
We're collecting new, unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots.
And for every toy you donate,
we'll donate another.
For every $1 you donate,
we'll match it.
At Alaskan AC, we believe every kid should have a gift under the tree on Christmas morning.
That's why we've partnered with the Marine Corps Toys for Tots once again.
Since 1947, they've collected over 670 million toys,
putting smiles on the faces of over 300 million kids.
And your donations stay right here in town. You can stop by our offices or hand your donation to one of our polar bears when they are at your home.
Alaskan AC loves having fun,
but we're serious about helping kids. So serious,
we're matching your donation.
We'll donate a toy for every one you donate
and match cash donations dollar for dollar.
Let's make sure every child has a Merry Christmas.
For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's babbel.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
At Wildcats Radio 1290, we're not just radio. We're your source in Tucson for digital marketing solutions. We specialize in creating strategic and effective marketing campaigns designed to get results for your business. Whether you want to target a local, regional, or a national audience, we have the right solution for your business. Call the Wildcats Radio 1290 business line at 520-887-1000 and put Cumulus Digital Media to work for you.
Does anyone feel like life is busier than ever, especially with the holidays? I'm a planner and try to think of it all. But what about the unexpected? Now I've got that covered. My husband and I finally got life insurance with SelectQuote, and I couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. This holiday season, I feel a little lighter, knowing my family is protected and ready for whatever the new year throws our way.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-982-3377. That's 1-800-982-3377. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-982-3377. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. It really is one of the best Mondays of the entire year. Unless, of course, you're Giants owner John Mara. After what Saquon Barkley did last night, I know for a fact he didn't get a single wink. I know I spent a lot of time on this, but for very good reason. And in fact, I don't see stopping anytime soon because this is absolutely incredible. I mean, not for the Giants, but for the rest of us. It's one of the best free agent stories ever. Even I'm completely stunned at how amazing this has worked out for Philadelphia and how disastrous it's been for the Giants. You see these numbers? 255 rushing yards, 270-plus yard TD runs, another 47 yards receiving, and Saquon is on pace to break the all-time single-season rushing record. This guy is a video game. He's a cheat code in a video game. Not to over-embellish, but I think this guy saved one franchise and wrecked another all by himself.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is honored to recognize the service of our military personnel. To show our appreciation, O'Reilly Auto Parts is proud to offer a 10% discount on many items to all active duty, reserve, veterans, and their dependent family members. Exceptions apply. Get details at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get deals all month during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, get an extra 10% off Whirlpool major appliances, like the new Maytag front-load laundry system with a Pet Pro filter that lifts and captures pet hair from clothes. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
So here's Fafita out of the shotgun. Triangle set to the left, straight back to throw with time, waiting, going deep downfield. He's got a man wide open at 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Yeah, that was last year. The Wildcats went up to Tempe and absolutely destroyed the Sun Devils. So it actually is 2 in a row. I think I was a little confused when we had the Brent Brennan press conference show. I'd forgotten that we did beat them 2 years ago here. So the Wildcats currently on a 2-game winning streak in the series after losing 5 straight games, trying to stretch that to 3 in a row. But again, as I mentioned, they open as a 9-point underdog. Last week, 11-point underdog. This week, a 9-point underdog to the rivals as they come in here. It'll be a 1:30 kickoff. We found that out on Saturday night. And that means our coverage on Saturday, join us, will begin at 9 a.m. from the U of A Mall. So bright and early day football here for the 98th Battle of the Territory. Looking forward to that immensely. J-Dub, you had mentioned in the last segment, it has been not too many times in this series where both teams have been maybe on the same winning plane, and certainly that is not the case this year.
No, I'm still trying to do the math over here, DK, but the thing about it is we all know, those of us who've been around this rivalry for 30, 40, 50 years, few and far between, DK, are the years where both Arizona and Arizona State are playing for a conference title, are playing for a major bowl game at the same time. It's one team playing spoiler for the other team trying to get to a good bowl game, or two very mediocre teams. Only that 2014 year, right, which was the time they actually played to it for a chance to go to the South championship, right? That was back when the North and South were split in the conference. That was the only year we all remember. So I went back and looked at the AP polls. There are so few years, if any, where both teams appear in the football AP poll. So Arizona was involved in 2000. ASU was not. Then Arizona missed the polls from 2001 to 2008. Arizona did not make a single poll. During that time, Arizona State was ranked in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. Then they weren't ranked in the year that Arizona was ranked, 2009. Arizona State did not make an appearance in the polls. U of A was 21st with their highest ranking. Again, 2011, Arizona did not appear in the polls. Arizona State was 18th. It's really literally leapfrogging back and forth. Hip-hop, going back over the top of each other, DK, to the point where the number of times that both of these programs have had successful years and are looking to play major New Year's Day type bowls is 1 year, 2014.
So then we should not necessarily be, I guess, surprised.
We should be mad. We should be mad, DK.
what
We
is
should be
happening.
mad because this Territorial Cup, we talk about it in all these glowing terms, like one of the greatest unknown rivalries and blah, 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 and oldest this, oldest that. What matters in rivalries, DK, the reason Ohio State and Michigan is a big rivalry is because they play each other every single year as top 10 ranked teams.
Right.
So when is the time going to come when both the Arizona Wildcats and the Sun Devils are both quality programs at the same time? We've been waiting for we want this game to mean a lot. We want this game to mean everything. And don't get me wrong, it's always the biggest game of the year for the Wildcats and for the Sun Devils, regardless of the records. Obviously, this game means everything. And wouldn't it be great if these are two 10-1 teams vying for the conference title?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it would be. I mean, you hit it right there on the head, and I'd like to. Maybe we can see if we can come up with this. But in terms of like you mentioned, Ohio State, Michigan, they always seem to be in the top 5. If not playing for the Big Ten championship, they're playing for a chance to go to the whatever the championship round has been, whether it was the BCS or whether it was the college football playoff of 4, whatever. They're always vying for that. I can remember when, I was in school at USC. I mean, the first, I think, 3 or 4 times we played UCLA, it was for the Pac-12 championship.
I always think of Notre Dame. So USC Notre Dame is a huge rivalry, DK.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because USC and Notre Dame, more often than not in the last 100 years, have been vying for some kind of national recognition when the two teams play each other.
Exactly.
That is the reason why these are big rivalries. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery why UCLA and Arizona is a bigger rivalry in basketball than Arizona and Arizona State. Because the two teams, that when they play each other, predominantly, DK, they're playing for something much more meaningful than just that game.
Right. Yep, and that was one of the reasons why, when this whole breaking up of the conference was happening, I was saying that, when you look at UCLA and Arizona basketball, the reason, like you just said, it means so much is because these have been the best 2 programs in this conference, the Pac-12 conference, for the better part of the last 30-plus years. Count the championships, and those 2 teams are going to be at the top. That's why it's such a big rivalry. It was a big rivalry because they were always playing for that title, or seem to be playing for that title, or meeting in the Pac-12 tournament for that title. And so, yeah, this has been a rivalry that obviously goes back a long way and means a lot to everyone here in the state of Arizona, but hasn't necessarily, meant a whole lot in terms of a national perspective outside of that one time. And again, that was a Pac-12 South Division championship, so I don't even remember if that really meant much to most people outside of the West at that particular time anyway. But, man, I remember that being a fun day. I remember being down there that day because I think that was a Friday. So I remember shooting that game for television and being down on the field and just the electric atmosphere at the stadium and the fans, storming the field after the game and the players holding up the cup. Definitely one of the more memorable Arizona football games I've covered in my time.
I'm still compiling all of the years between now and the year 2000. But what I will tell you this is that the time those 2 teams matched up, DK, the Wildcats were ranked 12th in the AP poll. Right. This was the 7th of December, 2014. And this is the second to final poll of the year, okay? So last week of the season before the Bulls. Arizona was ranked 12th in the AP, and ASU was ranked 15th in the AP poll. I guarantee you, I'm still compiling Arizona State's years. It's just a leapfrog situation where every year Arizona was ranked, ASU was not, and vice versa. That was the only year in memory where both teams were ranked in the top 15 when they played each other in the last weekend of the year.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. It is Territorial Cup week. We want to hear about your memories, the games that stand out the most, whether you saw the game in person. I really want to hear from the memories of people that have actually been to actual games. I came here in the year 2008, and so my first big memory is that 2008 game between the Wildcats and the Sun Devils here at Arizona Stadium, which Arizona won 31-10. Money Mike Thomas taking the punt back for the touchdown. That's my first big memory of this game as somebody that's covered it. Now, I'll go back to, obviously, the 1998 game, 50-42. And I remember watching that game on television. I think at the time I was living in Cleveland, 1998, and the Trunk Candidate game. I remember that game. Obviously, has a large piece of my memory when I think about Arizona State games. And there have been a lot. Obviously, this will be the 17th one that I'll have covered. There's been a lot of winning ones and a lot of losing ones in those 17 years. The missed extra points at the end in 2010 by Alex Zendejas, the miss and the block that kept the Wildcats from winning in double overtime, and the angriness that young man had to endure, probably still has to endure because of that situation right there. This is a game, like you said, like we've had, and we'll have our guy Lamont Hunley on tomorrow's show. This is a game where you have the opportunity to make your memory. My
message would be for them is to, get your memories.
That's right.
It's that simple. Get your memories.
Get your memories. And there have been a lot to be get. John Jefferson's diving catch for Arizona State in the end zone. I mean, we could go way, way back of all the great memories of this rivalry between these two schools, which dates back to 1899. 3 centuries.
Yeah, Priscilla,
3 centuries of this rivalry.
Priscilla asked me today why they were rivals. And because, again, like coming from Europe, they have club sports over there. They don't necessarily have amateur athletics where there's rivals. And I said, well, to put it quite simply, they've played each other for 100+ years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why.
There you go. There you go.
2 biggest schools in the state have played each other since the 1800s. That's why they're rivals.
3 centuries of football. The 19th century, the 20th century, and now the 21st century. This will be the 98th meeting between the two schools. Arizona leads the all-time series 51-44 and 1. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Obviously, Arizona State, and I don't know if a lot of people really know this, and this is going to this is going to go back to something that we're going to talk about here on the show today as well. I don't know that a lot of people know. I don't know that I knew this. I mean, I probably knew it, but really it didn't dawn on me until I actually saw it in front of me on paper that the 2021 game, which was the year after the 70-7 game, so this would have been the first Jed Fish game, 38-15. That game is the only game in the series that has been vacated due to the sanctions that Arizona State was levied with for all the nonsense that went on during the Herm Edwards and Antonio Pierce era of Arizona State football. That's the only game that's been vacated. How can I put this? I remember what happened that day. Arizona lost. Sun Devil fans remember what happened that day. Arizona State won. And you don't need the NCAA to tell you because, okay, we're going to maybe erase this in the book. You still remember what happened on November the 27th, 2021. You were probably at that game in Tempe. I was at that game in Tempe. I remember what happened that day. You remember what happened that day, okay? So I want you to remember that part of it when we talk about Jacory Croskey-Merritt here coming up. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. We had an accident with possible injuries over at East Valencia and Old Vales, slowing on eastbound Valencia. Also, accident with injury at North Craycroft and 4th Street. This is just north of the Craycroft and 5th Street intersection, slowing on both north and southbound Craycroft. For your weather, still at 76 degrees, but we'll be expected to go ahead and drop about 1 degree once we get to 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip. This is the sound of holiday happiness. Yeah, Ready Whip. Fun to use, fun to eat. You're not ready for the holidays without Ready Whip.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's November and the weather is cooling down. Now is the time to have your furnace serviced to ensure that it's operating safe and efficient. We also have a $79 garbage disposal service. And check out our monthly plumbing specials on our website. Call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing for all your plumbing and heating needs at 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
So what is the nationality of Santa Claus? I've got it right here. It's North Polish. Anyway, it's the red tag sale going on right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. If you can't get to the North Pole, see us.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto. Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Make Dave & Buster's a part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is Trivia Night with great prizes. Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on gameplay after 9 p.m. Stop in Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials. Want more? Rewards members will get an extra 100 chips with the purchase of 100 chips and Sunday sips for hospitality workers. Come out to Dave & Buster's, the best place outside of the stadium to see the games this football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game watch party at Dave & Buster's in front of the big screen, plus other big prizes and weekly winners. Only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you from Dave & Buster's Tucson. You can get a $25 Power Play card and a $25 gift card for just $25. That's a $50 value. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. I probably should not do another minute on the New York Giants, but I just can't help myself. How bad was it yesterday? I'll tell you how bad. Never a good thing when your best offensive player and your best defensive player both come out after a beatdown like that and call the team soft, but that's exactly what happened. The only thing worse than saying that your team is soft is saying that your team quit. I'm Jim Rome.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm releasing your Monday Night Report absolutely free on recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Baltimore at Los Angeles. Baltimore has a potent offense capable of explosive plays both through the air and on the ground. LA and their talented receiving corps can stretch the field and make the big plays. Tonight is going to be a monster game. I've got the side and total. That's two big plays. John Anthony has you covered. Call now. Hear him for free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. Call 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Baltimore, LA, side and total. I love to go 2-0. Get the next 7 days for free on me. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can interact with the show on a number of different platforms. We are streaming this show, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. We're streaming video, but no actual video today as we continue to battle our camera situation. But you can at least listen to the show on any of those video streaming platforms, as well as all of the audio streaming platforms that we have. WildcatsRadio1290.com, our app, download it, Wildcats Radio 1290, any of the other streaming apps such as TuneIn, iHeartMedia, Alexa, Google Play, all of those. All you got to say is turn on Wildcats Radio 1290 to your spoken device, whether it's Alexa or Siri or whoever. I don't know if Siri plays shows, but she gives you information, so maybe. And you can get all of that information, and you can get our show through all of those different platforms. So please do that. In fact, text the word app right now, APP, to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link, and you can download our app so that you can follow everything that we are covering, which is everything here in Southern Arizona and the state of Arizona. In fact, the top story on our app right now is, in fact, still NHL hockey, as we are still following the team that left us and moved up north just because we are still affiliated with them. And the Tucson Roadrunners are the top minor league club for the Utah Hockey Club. So we still do have some of their information and their stories. And we will. How about the weekend for the Tucson Roadrunners? They swept the first place Calgary Wranglers. So we hope to have a chance maybe later. Well, we're only doing 2 shows this week, so possibly tomorrow we might try to see if we can throw in an interview with the Tucson Roadrunners and get you guys all set for what's coming up next. I think they actually have another home game tomorrow night at the TCC. We'll tell you about that coming up a little bit later. All right. So Saturday on the pregame show, we had a discussion about the situation involving Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I mean, many of you know that Jacory has been held out since the first game of the season due to eligibility concerns. Now, Arizona Athletics has not said a word about what his status is. If they've heard from the NCAA about Jacory, if they've not heard from the NCAA, they haven't said anything about that. So right now we are operating under the assumption that they have not found out anything about the status of Jacory Croskey-Merritt. He is still in limbo.
Do they still call it a clearinghouse like back in the day?
Yeah, I don't know. Clearinghouse, I think the term clearinghouse was used more for, I always kind of viewed that as kids coming in from high school to make sure they were all eligible up and had all their necessary things like that. I don't know but if clearinghouse was necessarily the term we used for kids that were already in college transferring. But, yeah, the term fits.
I just remember back in the day in the 90s, clearinghouse was what they used for eligibility issues when the NCAA would, quote, drag its feet because those are the cases, DK, that always took the longest to resolve and oftentimes would go through the midway of the season, if not to the end.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, yeah, as far as from my standpoint, we don't know what his status is because they have not told us what his status is. Brent Brennan has been asked about this a number of times throughout the season, and the response has always been nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So a few weeks ago, I asked him this question about Jacory Croskey-Merritt.
Have there been any discussions or thoughts about just going ahead and playing Jacory at this point?
No, that doesn't make sense to me. With the NCAA, not one time.
So now we did a poll. We did a poll, as we do a question of the day every day. And our question of the day was, should the Wildcats just go ahead and play Jacory Croskey-Merritt? If you have not heard from the NCAA, should you just go ahead and play him? Maybe you might get an answer. If you go ahead and play him, maybe you might get an answer from the NCAA about Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Now, let me make it very clear what my stance on that was at the time we did the poll. I said that at that particular moment, I would not play him because there were still 3 games left. You still had a chance for bowl eligibility, and you didn't necessarily want to mess that up. But I also said at that particular time, if there became a point where you were no longer bowl eligible, I would play him. If you have not heard back from the NCAA. And that's where we are now. Again, operating on the assumption that they haven't heard anything because they haven't told us anything. They haven't told us that they've heard from him. You all voted on this poll. 52% of you, it was very close, 52 to 48, said no, don't risk playing Jacory. Wait for a decision from the NCAA. One of our closer votes that we've had in our poll. So we had a conversation about this on Saturday for the pregame because I wanted to get the fellas, the guys that have actually played. I can sit here and tell you what I think, but I never played college football. I wanted you to hear what the fellas had to say about this. Our fellas being Glenn Howe, the tight end, 1985, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan, from 1998. I wanted you to hear their thoughts on this situation. Guys that actually suited up and sweated blood for the University of Arizona. So here's how that conversation on Saturday went down.
Well, you mentioned Jacory Croskey-Merritt. For the record, I did ask the head coach about that a couple of weeks ago, if he had even thought or there had been any discussions about just going ahead and playing Jacory at this point, and he flat out said, no, we have not even thought about that.
He's still number one on the depth chart, too. And let me say this. And I was talking to DK, and I said I would play him because of the simple fact of the kid has done everything that you've asked him to do at this point.
Yeah.
And the NCAA has just been dragging their legs.
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever you want to call it, you know. And I just feel like that you know, with the kid doing everything that he should have done, the season isn't going quite which way you want it to go. Hey, why not show that you have these guys back? I understand, coach, and I understand the requirements. You said he's still on the depth chart. Take him off the depth chart.
I
Take him off
know.
the depth chart then. But no, I truly feel that way. If I was a head coach, that's the type of chance that I would take, and to show my guys how much I believed in them and how much I appreciated them coming to this school, because bringing them in knowing that this situation could happen, because everybody knew about this because because I think it was a little hiccup somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knew about this. I don't even think he would be here because I think that's why the other school ended up letting him go.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But everybody kind of knew about it, and I understand at the beginning of the year because you have championship aspirations and big bowl game aspirations. But to this point, man, this kid been here working the whole time, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Put him on the field.
Let the NCAA know.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, guys, we're tired of you guys, man. Like make your decision and let's go from there.
That's what I say. I think they should play him, man. I think they should.
That's coming from old players.
Yeah.
I ain't got to worry about the repercussions of being
exactly.
and everything.
We
But I'm
ain't gonna
telling you,
lose
though,
no
as a head coach,
Yeah.
I would be talking to compliance. I would be talking to the president of the school and everybody, and they would have to tell me in my eyes why they didn't think it was right for that kid not to have an opportunity to play when he trusted us with his last little bit of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting right there. And we'll see. I think definitely there was a part of me, and I don't know that they would do this, but there was a part of me that wonders if they've already found out and they just aren't saying.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, my issue is, here's what my issue with the situation. It's guys that we see has played 7 years.
Yeah.
This guy's coming
exactly.
after COVID and played
Right.
5 and 6
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
what is the deal here? And he went to I think it was like Bethune-Cookman. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to
Alcorn,
disrespect.
I think it was Alcorn State.
Alcorn State or
Alabama,
whatever.
one of
So
those states.
how is these guys coming up with all this eligibility in these other places? And you're saying
Right.
I'm lost. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're figuring it 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
It's sad. It's
Cam
really sad.
Rising's on year 7. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
How?
Cam Rising's
How?
on
That's
year
all I'm saying.
20. He's getting Social Security, man.
Because if the kid really played that year, there would be film of him playing 5 or 6 games. If he played even 3 games, from what I'm noticing of these guys getting hurt, getting injury, then you should get, especially coming from some of those HBCUs that are underfunded program where they can't even feel. They don't even know if he was there.
Yeah.
So that right there should tell you
Yeah.
right there that probably shouldn't count, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
what's the difference when this kid is like, he's probably 21?
Yeah.
This kid's out there
Yeah.
playing 25 and 26 and 27, DK, so I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it. He must have been a special weepon that they knew about
Yeah.
and they didn't want him here or
Yeah.
something, because
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I definitely would like to know. I think we would all like to know what's going on in that situation and why the NCAA either has not said or the Wildcats have not said.
Yeah,
And
like
I
said,
say one thing.
Yeah.
And one guy does matter. You take that running back off Boise
Yeah.
State and tell me who they are.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
One guy, the way
Yeah.
Mary looked in that
Yeah.
beginning, the
Yeah.
first couple
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
he made Conley look
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. He made everybody look better. So you take that one type of running back, 1,000-yard rusher off, and you got a different team.
Yeah, and also, man, I think this guy's got a case, man. He's got a case against them.
Man.
I mean, he's got a case.
Maybe that's what they're doing. They saving the case for
Yeah,
him.
exactly. Yeah.
Let's look at the bright side.
Yeah,
maybe they
I
say,
hope he
what,
gets some
don't
lettuce
play.
out of this, man.
Man, 'cause
Well, it was
something
good to
ain't
see
right.
him. He's still down there with a
Yeah,
smile on his
he
face.
is. We saw him on the sideline, and he was totally positive.
Yeah.
Uplifted my spirit.
And I'm
Right.
like, damn, dude, I
Right.
feel sorry. I'm like ready to cry.
Yeah, I'd be over there hot. I'd be like, I can't wait out here. I came out here to play football.
Yep. I'll bring it back to current right now. Take Cam Scattaboo off of Arizona State's roster. And what do you think that team is? So I put it out there yesterday. I put it out there yesterday on Twitter. There's no reason now. If on the assumption that they don't know, they have not heard back from the NCAA, and we'll get to the other side of that in the next hour. If they have not heard back from the NCAA, there's no reason not to play Jacory Croskey-Merritt in that game on Saturday, if you have not heard back from the NCAA. Now, if you have heard back from the NCAA, that's a completely different story, and we'll dive into that part of it in the next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. Want to hear your thoughts on that? A lot of you had thoughts on it when I put this out there yesterday. I'll read you some of those thoughts of people that responded. We'll get into sanctions and what all that really means in the 4 o'clock hour. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have an accident with possible injuries over on Grant Road. This is approaching Silver Bell, so be prepared for some slowing there. And we have that 6-lane widening project occurring on Valencia between Kolb and Houghton. The crews will be out there till 6 p.m. with that project not expected to be done until mid-2026. For your weather, still at about 75 right now as we get ready to drop to the 60s here by 6 o'clock. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
Not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
If you have an Arizona basketball for a screensaver, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne. The injury lawyers are proud to support the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Your Arizona Wildcats will take on ASU this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Get all the info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats!
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on Arizona State. Kickoff is scheduled for 1:30 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
Oh, game on. Did I say that? Sorry. Game on.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's another episode in the continuing story of Tobacco Barn's fight to save Tucsonans on their favorite tobacco products.
The other store prices are so high.
I'm Captain Tobacco.
My hero.
Who's responsible for these outrageous prices?
I am. Pardon me while I teach this fellow some manners.
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Hooray! When your tobacco savings are stolen, get to Tobacco Barn.
Get up to 40% off. Pay no city or state sales tax. And up to another $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Captain Tobacco, I could just kiss you.
I know, ma'am. Animal magnetism. It's a gift I have to live with.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Well, looks like some of the Arizona basketball players are hitting some of that water fun down in Nassau. I don't know if they're on that big slide, but it looks like they're on something with tubes.
They're not afraid of roller coasters.
And that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm sure Tommy told them go on the light. Don't go down the big one. Go down like the kitty.
They're
the
okay,
kitty
DK.
one.
They're okay on the big one. They just need to get their ankles taped first.
Yeah. Well, ankles taped together so they don't come apart and you don't lose one on one of those big water slides. That's for sure. DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We were talking in the last half hour about the situation involving Jacory Croskey-Merritt. We'll get back to that as well. Cardinals lose 16-6 yesterday up in Seattle. And the good news, though, to that is that the 49ers got their butts kicked in Green Bay. That was a positive. So with the Cardinals losing, that means that our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge for this week is going to roll over because the gentleman that played was an Arizona Cardinals fan, and he took the Cardinals, obviously, and they didn't win. So $50 coming up this Thursday in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Let's go to the phones and talk to our guy, Paul in Phoenix. Paul, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, David. Hey, JW. Hey, so sorry about I've got a helicopter going overhead here. Sorry, I'm outside. The whole rivalry thing. Let me just talk about Jacory real quick. The NCAA, to me, okay, this is just my little feeble mind opinion. They're on short term right now.
Right.
They're short timers right now. I truly believe that. Look how long it took them to hand out the penalty against Tempe Normal for the COVID thing.
Yeah.
It was almost 2 years, right?
Right.
So 2 years is a long time in these kids' careers. I know a lot of, like you said, they got 5, 6, 7 years, but 2 years is a long time. So the fact that these guys are they've let this poor kid go and drag it out this long, there's either something else that they're not telling us, or the NCAA is just saying, well, we're kind of waiting for March Madness because that's when we get our $1 billion, and that's when we start cashing checks. I don't know what to do because the NCAA, we're coming up on 2025. By 2030, the NCAA will be gone. It'll be gone. If it's still around, somebody can say, Paul, you were way wrong because I can't see them staying around. Everybody's going to leave them and say no. You cannot.
When you say everybody, you mean SEC and Big Ten.
SEC, Big Ten, and they will ask the Big 12, and they will ask the ACC teams to join them, and they will be one big two-conference, AFC, NFC, and they'll sort them out into the divisions. And the NCAA they'll say by NCAA, and when they put a rule in place, they'll say, hey, this kid has to sit out game one. We're waiting on his eligibility. We'll get you an answer in 2 weeks. Or 10 days.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they can't do that.
How hard is it? How hard is it to figure this whole thing out? We're talking about four games at Alabama State, really.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay, so let me get to the memories real quick. Everybody goes to the Chuck Cecil thing. But David, you weren't here, and JW remember Randy Robbins?
Yeah.
Remember Randy Robbins running back. He was. I remember him running a touchdown back. I was a lot younger then, but I remember Randy Robbins. Richard Dice in the big game. I think Richard Dice, if he had one torn ACL, he had two.
All right, what year Randy Robbins ran a touchdown back? Was it a kick or what was it? Like, be more specific, Paul.
Well, I want to say it was a short little short pass over the middle. And I just remember, I believe the score was 20. We ended up winning 28-18. I just remember him running into the end zone, and I just remember as a kid being like, I wasn't a kid, but I just remember just being like, oh, thank goodness he got away. And it's just one of those memories. It'll always stay with me forever. And I wish I could have. I should probably go back on the research. Actually,
that would have been 28-18 was 1982.
Yes. Okay, 82 then. Yep. I went to the U of A in 83.
Okay.
So. That was one of my good memories. And then of course you got the Trump candidate stuff. And
so wait a minute, you said the second one you said was Robert Dice?
Richard Dice.
Richard Dice. Now what happened there?
Richard Dice. Well, Richard Dice, if I remember right, Richard Dice played in that game.
Same game?
I'm sorry?
Same game, 1982?
No. Different game.
Okay.
Different game. He was later on. But I just remember Richard Dice playing on either one, if not two, torn ACLs.
Oh, wow.
Dice
I've heard that story.
Dice was the same grade as Kelvin and I. Like, we're all the same age. So Richard Dice was saying it was basically Kelvin.
I think I remember hearing the guys tell that story last year, that Richard Dice was out there on, like, bad games.
It was crazy, the fact that young man played like he played, and the fact they let him go back out there, and he convinced them to say, no, I'm okay. And he played with torn ACLs, and I think it was two. And I wish we could somehow get Richard Dice on and to talk to him.
I think we did. Did we? I think I remember this story because I think he might have been on that day last year from Tempe. I think he might have been one of our guests.
Oh, really?
That we had on the show.
Yeah. So basically, this was the '95 Teacup, and what happened was Mr. Dice had an ACL injury earlier in the year, DK, and came back.
And somebody cut him or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, came back and played on it. Yeah.
Yep. I remember Kelvin just saying that he was so upset when that guy cut Dice and he went down again.
Yep. And it's funny. I have people always ask me, well, when does Arizona play at home, and when do they play at home? And I always just remind people, say, well, if you have an easy way to remember, we play Tempe in Tucson on the normal years, the even years. And we play at Tempe on the odd, ugly years. So that's all you have to do is to remember that. So, but guys, I'm going to be there. A lot of people I have a friend who sold his tickets, and I have a feeling he sold them to the other guys. But that's okay. We're going to be there. I'm going to make every effort. I want to come see you guys if these buses will run on time and all that good stuff. I'll try to get over there and say hi to you guys and thank you for a good season. But I'll tell you what, it burns. It burns really hot here in Phoenix right now, and it's, again, this is totally, and JW would be like, Paul, let it go, but it should have been a intentional grounding penalty, okay, on Saturday against Tempe, and the gutless referees should have also considered throwing a flag for fans rushing the field. Now, again, I know there's, come on. It's like that's nitpicking, but I'm just saying, had that ball been 10 yards closer, the kid did catch the ball at the 2-yard line, so you just never know. But you know what? That's what makes this rivalry fun.
I think the problem with the penalty for the fans rushing is if you actually watch the ending, the main ref, the field judge, actually waved his hands, right? Like as if the game was over. He made the gesture like the game was over prior to any of the fans coming onto the field. So that was more an error on the refs calling it prematurely, and then after the fact going back and checking the numbers.
Okay. See, I told you, David. I knew David. He reeled me
No,
back
just
there.
go watch the replay. The guy right in the middle, the head ref, whatever that guy's position is, DK, I don't know, but he was clearly waving his arms like this as if the game was over.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just play along. Jeez, I know you're so level-headed. Let me be a crazed fan just so that
I'm not going to point up to the road up north as to why they should have lost a game when Arizona is sitting at 4-7, right? Like that's the way I look at it. I'm not looking at what they're doing up there. I'm looking at what Arizona's doing down here, and I'm befuddled, my friend, by the fact that these two teams in my 50 years on this planet have had 1 year where both of them had 10 wins in the same season.
Isn't that crazy? We got to fix that. But, I agree. I wish it was better. I wish both teams – how great would it be if one year both teams are 11-0 heading to this game? That'd be wonderful. That'd be as long as it's in Tucson. The game.
Oh gosh, we would be on cloud 9.
I know. And it's just one of those things where come Saturday – it'll be, I think if they just tell Noah, come in here. Come on in here to the film room. Look at what the BYU quarterback did to Tempe in the second half of that game. And if you can keep the football down a little bit, let's not overthrow guys as much as we have been lately. Let's keep the ball within reach. You never know. We have a chance. And I'll leave you guys with this, okay? So as you go home tonight and eat dinner, and I think I said this last year, or you go home and you're eating your Thanksgiving dinner, put all the forks away. Forks down, leave them down. You're going to have
That's
to eat
right.
mashed
No
potatoes and
forks
turkey.
this week. I forgot.
No forks this week,
No
guys.
forks
It's a no
this
fork
week.
week.
Yes, I'm glad
No
you
forks.
reminded us of that, Paul.
Yeah. Spoons, knives, fingers. Use your fingers. It's even better. It's good. So let's do that. Let's bear down, and you know what? Let's make it happen, guys. Let's make it happen. Thanks again. Bear down. Talk to you guys later.
All right, Paul in
Bear
Phoenix.
down.
Always great to hear his thoughts. I'm glad he reminded me. We got that from the women's soccer game earlier this year when the ladies put down the forks for the game leading into them going up to Tempe and winning the Territorial Cup matchup, Territorial Cup Series matchup on the soccer side. No forks this week for anyone affiliated or a fan of the University of Arizona. Spoons, chopsticks, whatever you got to do. I know you like your pasta, J-Dub, but no forks allowed this week leading up to kickoff on Saturday. And once the game is done, you can go back to using your fork, but no forks allowed. All right, before we get to break, we want to talk to MJ, our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge contestant from this past week. He was a Cardinals fan. We picked the Cardinals game. They did not win. What happened to your offense, MJ?
Man, Kobe Bryant. That's what happened.
How about that? I'd never heard of that guy until yesterday. Kobe Bryant is his name. He spells it C-O-B-Y, and the Bryant, I believe, is spelled a little bit differently as well. But Kobe Bryant with the pick six. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I love the name, but that Harrison touchdown, that was pretty close. He called it back. And then we're lucky we got that ball back in the beginning with that, forward pass, fumble. That went for a touchdown that got called back. There's a little bit of things going on, but I like Murray with his 20 completion streak that he was starting with. He was getting the ball out real quick.
The good news, though, MJ, obviously the Rams got pasted by the Eagles last night, and the Niners got just clobbered by Green Bay.
Yes, that was good.
So we'll take some solace in that this week, and hopefully the Birds get back on the winning track. Another tough one at Minnesota on Sunday with a kickoff at 11 o'clock. Never easy to go winning these games on the road, and then you got to turn around and host Seattle again at home the following week. So hopefully things will get back on track. But you know what? Even though you didn't get the $25 gift card, MJ, you're still going to get a prize pack from Miller Lite, and there's some really cool stuff in that prize pack for your next tailgate. So make sure you stop on by and pick that up.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Is it cool if I give a little shout out?
Yeah, absolutely.
My son, Michael Jr., Zona, 5th, 6th grade, and my daughter, Sophia, Gridley Middle School, 8th grade girls. They're going strong this year. And my boy, Dan the Man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome, MJ. Awesome shouts out. Appreciate you. Call again sometime.
Thank you.
You too, brother. You too. MJ on the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. All right, 520-848-1290. Much more still straight ahead. We'll talk some Arizona football. We'll get back to our conversation on Jacory Croskey-Merritt's situation and some of the interesting back and forth that I had with folks on Twitter on Sunday when I put this out that I think that he should play on Saturday. He should play if they have not gotten an answer from the NCAA. If they have gotten an answer, and that answer that he's ineligible, then they need to come out and say he's ineligible. They need to tell us that he's ineligible. There's no I don't know why we're even holding that back. Just come out and say it. Jacory's ineligible. He can't play. And if you haven't heard back, then he should be on the field Saturday. And I'll tell you why. Straight ahead. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. We have a hazard over at West Ajo Way and South Mission Road, slowing down majorly on both sides of Ajo. Be aware of that. Also, underground utility work starting along Houghton Road between Irvington and Escalante. Crews will still be out there till 5 p.m. today. They expect the travel lane restrictions there to be in place. For your weather, we're currently still at about 75 as we're going to dump down into the 60s here once we get to sunset. I'm Dragaball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
So you have approval to order more.
Oh, it's just me, guys. Why are you dressed like that? It's my polar bear costume.
I almost called the exterminator.
Just trying to drum up business for winter Alaska vacations. Since when are polar bears so short?
Gary, Alaskan AC doesn't have to do silly stunts. People all over town love our Alaska vacations.
Who else promises no breakdowns for a full year? Check this out.
Don't do that here.
Well, when I spin the sign outside, it looks awesome. I thought Wrecking Ron's office was pretty awesome.
Gary, I love your enthusiasm, but I don't think we need you dressed up in a polar bear costume to tell people about our winter Alaska vacations.
Everyone knows Alaskan AC does more than just tune up the heater.
We clean, tighten, calibrate, and polish the heater so it's good as new.
So good, we guarantee no breakdowns for an entire year.
Now take off that silly costume.
Okay.
And give it to William.
What?
You're more polar bear sized.
You've got to be kidding me. I'm not putting this.
Oh, and schedule now at alaskanac.com.
I'm here to announce the new collaboration, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop.
You're invited to a historic day for Tucson on Saturday, December 28th.
I'll be there.
This is big time Tucson with a tailgate festival starting at 10 a.m.
Will you be there?
Then at 2:30, it's the only bowl game with all net proceeds to charities.
We'll see you there.
With tickets at thearizonabowl.com, it's doggone good for Tucson. Tickets at thearizonabowl.com.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Wish Black Friday deals lasted longer? Good news! At Oro Ford, Black Friday deals last all month long. Get $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ford Expeditions, Ford Edges, and Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford's the only Ford dealer with zero city sales tax and no dealer add-ons. Stuff your plate with savings all November long at Oro Ford's Black Friday sale. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Marco Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber, right here. Plumber, right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business.
Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
I'm Chris Rose with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Bears scored 11 points in the final 22 seconds to force overtime against the Vikings, but Minnesota won it in overtime on a John Parker Romo field goal. Spencer Schrader, a game-winning field goal. Chiefs beat the Panthers 30-27 to move to 10-1. Lions also 10-1 after taking care of the Colts 24-6. The Cowboys returned not one but two kicks for touchdowns and held off the Commanders 34-26. Tua, 4 more touchdown tosses. Dolphins over the Patriots big. Josh Jacobs ran for 3 scores. Packers dominate the Niners 38-10. Broncos best the Raiders by 10. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reports that Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew done for the year, broken collarbone. Seahawks beat the Cards by 10 to take the NFC West lead. And Saquon Barkley, more than 300 scrimmage yards, 2 scores as the Eagles top the Rams by 17 on Sunday Night Football. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare and you want out, you need to get the facts. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshares permanently, and he may be able to help you too. Call right now, and Chuck will send you a timeshare exit information guide for free. It explains how your timeshare works and all your options for cancellation. You want to call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Beat the Black Friday rush during Black Friday Build-Up at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, get an extra 10% off when you buy a major appliance from Whirlpool, like the new Smart Range with air cooking and a wipe clean coating. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Territorial Cup week has arrived. Protect the A's, the A Mountain here in Tucson, the A Mountain in Tempe, because strange things can happen this week during rivalry week. This will be the 98th time that these two teams have gotten together. It'll be on national TV, Fox, at 1:30 Mountain Time, which means it's the 3:30 time slot on Fox, because there's a lot on the line for at least one of the teams playing in this. The Arizona State Sun Devils, who have a chance as the 14th ranked team in the country to clinch the Big 12 regular season championship and a berth in the Big 12 championship game, which will be played down in Dallas. We were talking a little bit about some of the numbers around this rivalry, and we'll get to more of that coming up down the line. Want to hear your thoughts? Want to hear your memories all this week? Now We'll still, even though Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we're technically going to be in basketball shows, as Arizona Wildcats are down in Atlantis for the Battle for Atlantis, we'll still talk some Territorial Cup on those particular shows. But really, today and tomorrow are 2 opportunities to dive into memories of the Territorial Cup. I want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. Like I told you, my first memory is Money Mike Thomas taking the ball back for a touchdown in 2008. Then I think another memory that comes to mind was Bryson Burney coming off the bench for an injured Nick Foles in Tempe in 2011 and leading the Wildcats to a late touchdown to win that game. And that, in fact, was the last win that Arizona had in Tempe until the big win they had last year. Noah Fafita hitting Tetero McMillan for a 57-yard play over the middle. One of the best balls I think that I've seen Noah Fafita throw in his 2 years here as the starting quarterback at the University of Arizona. I mean, he put it in the dime to Tetero McMillan in between 4 defenders, and he just scooted out of the dime and down the right sideline for 57 yards all the way to the red zone, on the way to leading the Wildcats to a huge win, 59-23, over the Arizona State Sun Devils. Noah Fafita's mom, within the last hour, tweeted a picture of Noah and T-Mac from their high school days at Servite. She says, just a few years ago, I was counting down to the day that T-Mac would flip so that he and Noah could play in college together. Now I'm counting down the days to their last game. Hashtag Noah and T-Mac forever. Hashtag Colo and Nalo. Those are their Samoan nicknames, Colo and Nalo. And they'll play their final game together this Saturday in the Territorial Cup game. Oh, what a way it would be for them to go out if they could get a win on the home field and really put a negative stamp on this Arizona State season, which has been way more productive than anyone thought that it would be. 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. All right, we've been talking. Go ahead, J-Dub.
I was just going to say there is one thing we have yet talked about as it concerns those two, which is this.
Tetero McMillan is a new school record. Today, he has caught 9 passes for 115 yards, and he's passed Bobby Wade for the all-time receiving yards record at Arizona.
Yeah, it's an amazing feat. This record stood for quite a long time.
Lost in that loss to Texas Christian, DK, was T-Mac passing the great Bobby Wade for all time.
3,355 career receiving yards, now 4 on top of Bobby Wade, who had held that record, I guess, I don't know the exact year, but it was probably around 2004 or 5, so it stood for almost 20 years since Bobby did it in the early part of this century. So congratulations to Tetsuo McMillan. One more chance to go out. He says he plans to play. Brent Brennan in his press conference today, if you missed it, said that nobody was sitting out. At least nobody had come to him at this point and said they were sitting out. So right now, everybody is a go for the game. The question I keep asking is Jacory Croskey-Merritt a go for this game? Should he be a go for this game? And if you didn't hear early in the show, we'll head on over to my Twitter page. We tweeted we played the conversation that the fellows and I, Glenn Howe and Kelvin Ifan, had on Saturday about this very matter and their thoughts on it as well, that they believe if, in fact, Arizona has not heard anything from the NCAA, that there's no reason not to play Jacory Croskey-Merritt at this point. Sometimes, as Kelvin Ifan said, sometimes you got to do what's right by the player, what's right by the young man who came here, who entrusted Arizona with what he thought was going to be his last season of college eligibility, and something got in the way of that. And if you have not heard anything from the NCAA, then go out and play him. And I said as much yesterday. Here's some of the comments that I got from my tweet, which I'll read to you. There's absolutely zero reason now to keep Jacory Croskey-Merritt on the bench. Let him play in the Territorial Cup game and potentially leave the Arizona Wildcats a hero. Bill Miller checks in. Really, man? Come on now. Julie Miller. He's ineligible and sanctions exist. Well, Julie, if he's ineligible, then you're telling us something that we have not heard from the university, because they have not said that he is ineligible. Julie would go on to say the NCAA told the program not to play him. How would you interpret that? Well, if that's what the NCAA told the program, then fine. They need to come out and say that, Julie. And they have not come out and said that. And that was my theory that I laid out on Saturday. I believe that they do know. They do know. They have been told. And for whatever reason, they're just not saying. And I don't know what that reason is, but they're just not saying. Kelsey Slade said, might as well bring Kadeem Carey back. Whew, Man, that would be great.
Yeah, Gronk, Chuck Cecil, we're all of them.
When I think about Jacory Croskey-Merritt, and I said, if they haven't heard, if they have not heard whether he's eligible or not, I keep getting memories of Trump candidate in my mind. That type of day that you could have from this kid. Boog said, Boog checks in. Boog always likes to check in. Just so it won't count. I asked Boog, count against what? Boog responds, if you have to ask, then I don't know what to tell you. So we'll get into the sanctions part of that, as many people who responded pointed out, there would be sanctions. We'll talk about the sanctions aspect of that straight ahead. Want to hear your thoughts, though. DK, now that it's over, we had the poll a couple weeks ago when we were still trying to go to a bowl game, but now that that's all off the table, you got one game. And if the NCAA has not told you that you can't play him, then why shouldn't you play him? 520-848-1290. You cannot see Dragon Ball, but I'll tell you, Dragon Ball walked in here and didn't have my beer today. Where my beer at?
Oh, your beer's coming
Where my beer at?
Your beer's
Where
coming.
my Yingling at?
Your beer's going to come tomorrow.
Because the Browns kicked that booty in the snow on Thursday night.
They did, and you'll get the beer tomorrow. I couldn't get the beer today because I had to get my nap in because by the time I realized
you had to get your nap in.
I had to get my nap in.
Come on now,
because
man.
By the time
I stayed up all night Saturday night and didn't nap.
But by the time I got my laundry and my dishes done last night, I realized it was already 11 o'clock, so I didn't sleep prior to my traffic shift today, so I was running on fumes this morning. But I will be getting you your beer tomorrow once I go ahead and I finish up the traffic for tomorrow afternoon.
Can you imagine 10 years from now when the Browns and Steelers are playing in a dome?
I mean, I hope that's not the case. I like the elements impacting football. That's just me.
Me too. Who wants domed football? I mean, yeah, maybe in the desert when it's 100 degrees or whatever. Yeah, I mean that I was sitting up watching that game. We had a birthday party, a friend of mine's birthday, and we were over at the. I'd never been to the Nugget. Have you? No, I know you don't really go out. Dragon Ball. J-Dub, have you ever been to the Nugget?
Yes.
Okay.
Many times.
I'd never been to the Nugget. That's actually a really nice little place. I really enjoyed it. I said, man, this is my type of bar. So I might have to go back to the Nugget. They have a really nice kind of outdoor patio there with an outside bar. They had like a Vietnamese food truck that we had some of the food from there that was really good. And the inside is nice, decked up, and they play some good music. I was like, man, it's kind of reminded me of the Shelter, which is one of my other favorite spots here in town.
I don't think I've ever been to the Nugget. I've been to the Golden Nugget many times, but I don't think I've been there since the rebranding.
Oh, okay.
But that place is around since the 60s.
Yeah. We heard it used to be a punch palace.
Been around for a while.
Not so much anymore. It's I think they glammed it up a little bit, so I don't know
a little.
I don't know if the punch people come around much anymore. But it was really nice. We had a good time there. All right, so Dragon Ball doesn't have my beer yet.
It will be here tomorrow.
I better get my beer tomorrow. I don't want to have to send Louie and Rocco to come find you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Soprano.
Okay. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. We have an accident over at Glen and Alvernon. This is slowing things down both east and westbound on Glen as you approach that intersection, so be aware of that. Also, accident with injury reported at Valencia and Calle Santa Cruz. This is right off the I-19 on and off ramps there as you go on westbound Valencia. So if you're trying to get to the I-19 on Valencia, trying to come off the I-19, go down westbound Valencia, you're probably going to see some slowing there because of that crash there. As for your weather right now, we're getting closer to about 74 degrees right now, and we're going to be dropping into the 60s here once we get to sunset at about 6 o'clock. And I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. things people love.
Why are we named Wildcats Radio 1290?
You want answers?
Because we outwork everyone else in town to bring you the very best coverage of the Cats. That's why we are the home of the Arizona Wildcats. The one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Celtics are a big home favorite. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Celtics host the Clippers tonight, and Boston is laying nearly double digits. The BetQL model is backing the big home favorite. Celtics minus 9.5 is a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This Thanksgiving, Paramount Plus serves up a must-see NFL on CBS divisional matchup when Jared Goff and the high-flying Detroit Lions host top draft pick Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. It all kicks off Thursday at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on CBS, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
You are never too old for a family. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is dedicated to finding forever families for children who have been waiting in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
All the Who's down in Husan like great deals a lot, but the Grinch who lived on top of Mount Lemmon did not. But he went to O'Reilly for the holidays to trade in his sleigh, and the price he got from his trade grew 5 times that day. This holiday season, come to the dealership even a Grinch can love. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check us out at O'Reilly.com. Because at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we prefer that you visit us live. See us this holiday season, and together, let's drive.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. More than a window store.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-981-4455. 800-981-4455. 800-981-4455.
Discover Tamal season. Casino del Sol presents the 19th Tucson Tamal and Heritage Festival. Saturday, December 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ava Amphitheater. And it's free and open to the public. Experience more than 100 delicious Tamal vendors from all regions, food vendors, and local live entertainment. Plus artisans, farmers markets, and the famous Best Tamal Contest. The 19th Tucson Tamal and Heritage Festival. Only at Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson. An enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui Tribe.
This is Zach Gelb. The Sportsman is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Saquon Barkley yesterday rushed for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns. Xavier McKinney had an interception, and Leonard Williams had 2.5 sacks. It was a great day for former Giants as those players led the Eagles, Packers, and Seahawks to victories. As for the current Giants, they were non-competitive against the Buccaneers. For the entire season, I thought John Mara would bring back Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, but after yesterday, I don't think that will be the case anymore. I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm releasing your Monday Night Report absolutely free on a recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Baltimore at Los Angeles. Baltimore has a potent offense capable of explosive plays both through the air and on the ground. LA and their talented receiving corps can stretch the field and make the big plays. Tonight is going to be a monster game. I've got the side and total. That's 2 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. Call now. Hear him for free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. Call 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Baltimore, LA, side and total. I love to go 2-0. Get the next 7 days for free on me. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Get involved with the program on any of our social media platforms. You can respond to the things that I've said, things that I've tweeted, as I did yesterday in regards to the situation revolving Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I want to read you another interesting conversation that I had regarding that with a gentleman by the name of Louis. So Louis responded to my tweet, David Kelly has gone off the deep end because he clearly doesn't understand the games the NCAA is probably playing. For all we know, Jacory is in fact ineligible, and by the sheer miracle we beat ASU, ASSU, as a lot of people will write it, and boom, NCAA steps in and we have to forfeit for playing an ineligible player. I responded back to Louis, you hit part of that on the head, Louis. If Jacory's been declared ineligible, then U of A should come out and say it. And that's what I've been saying all day on this program. And then I said, you know what happened on December the 3rd of 2005? A 12-0 USC team beat UCLA 66-19. It was a game that was later vacated during the whole Reggie Bush scandal at the University of Southern California. I was at the 2004 National Championship game, which was played in January of 2005, when USC, my alma mater, blew out Oklahoma. A game that was later vacated because Reggie Bush played in that game. I went on to say in this tweet to Louis, USC beat UCLA 66-19 in December of 2005. Again, in a game that was later vacated. But you think the alums from both schools don't know what happened that day? You think UCLA fans don't know what happened that day? You think me and my USC brethren don't remember what happened that day? So Louis responded, what the hell does USC scandal 19 years ago have to do with this? If you read the reports on why Jacory is being investigated, more likely he's ineligible. Schools don't have to announce eligibility on players. Well, there you go. They should. They clearly don't have to. We saw it happen at Pitt earlier this year, where they declared their running back ineligible at the beginning of the season, and then I think in week 6 he was back, and we never found out why that was. And I heard a lot of talk about sanctions and forfeits. And one guy was like, they'll sanction us to death. Over what? It's one game. It's one game. If, again, operating on the assumption that they have not found out, which, again, maybe they have, and they're just not telling us. But I'm operating on the assumption that they have not found out. Do you think the NCAA is going to come after your program for playing an ineligible player in one game or playing a player that eventually maybe they deem ineligible in one game in a season that at this point doesn't even matter anymore because you're not going to a bowl game. The only sanctions that matter in today's college football are if they keep you out of a bowl game or they keep you out of this new 12-team college football playoff. And name me one time in history where a team got a bowl ban for playing an ineligible player in one game. I'll wait. It's never happened. You don't get bowl bans for playing an ineligible player in one game. Maybe you lose a few scholarships, slap on the wrist. Who even knows in today's college football? Whatever these sanctions that some of you believe might happen if Jacory Croskey-Merritt steps out onto that field on Saturday, it don't even matter. It doesn't matter. They're not going to ban you from anything of sufficient relevance. So that's where I am on that. I thank everybody that commented on that. Louis, I like Louis. We do have something in common. He loves Seven Lions. I love Seven Lions. So we have a house music producer that we both love. So we agree on that. We just don't agree on this. So if the Wildcats know that he's been ineligible or the NCAA, they've heard back from the NCAA, just tell us. Just tell us. You know? Just tell us. Because clearly, I'll go back to what I said in September. Arizona screwed this up. No matter how you slice it, Brent Brennan can come out and say, well, we did all of our due diligence. This whole thing got screwed up. Who's held accountable for that? Well, we got GMs now. Okay, so Geiska Crowley and the compliance department screwed this up. Because now that's what college football is all about. You got general managers, just like you do in the NFL, who are charged with getting these kids here, and clearly somebody didn't know what the hell was going on. Because Jacory Croskey-Merritt's been sitting on the bench now for 10 games. Free Jacory. That's all I'm saying. If you haven't heard, I should say, from the NCAA, free Jacory. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. J-Dub, we were talking earlier in the show about the Arizona State rivalry as it relates to other rivalries, such as Ohio State and Michigan. And we mentioned 2014, the Pac-12 South Division championship year. And that's the only time you said in your lifetime that both teams have won 10 games in this rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked quite a bit after last year's season. That was their fourth, fifth, 10-win season, something like that. So it's, few and far between. But the idea that both programs, most people who've been around this rivalry for a long time would like nothing more. Like the whole idea of having one team be 0-11 and the other team be 11-0, DK. Like only the dumbest diehard fans from either fan base want that. Because you want to be able to beat a team that's good. What does it mean if you beat a team that's 0-11, right? So most of us have been wanting to see games that have meaning. for the Territorial Cup. Territorial Cup will always be the biggest game of the year. It's always going to be the game you circle on the calendar. This is make your memories. This is where you make your name in the history books and all those things. But DK, yeah, the 2014 game was the only time both teams finished the season with more than 10 wins in the same year. And that's why it's not a national story. That's why, for the most part, nobody, quote, cares about this game when it comes around nationally, because it never really is it's really a spoiler situation rather than two really good teams playing to see who can get to the better bowl game or get to a playoff.
Our guy Paul in Phoenix, we spoke with him earlier. He says, I apologize, I was wrong. It was not Randy Robbins he was thinking of that made the catch in the 1982 games. It was Brian Holland. That was a great memory there. The Brian Holland catch, I think it was 92 yards or something right over the middle. That's a memory that comes back for sure. Brian Holland's catch for the Wildcats to beat Arizona State. So you handed me Michigan State and Ohio State.
Well, just by
both teams have been ranked, let's see, in this century, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times in the first 24 games of this century.
Just for a relative comparison, because everybody talks about, Duke, North Carolina in basketball, Ohio State, Michigan in football. These are rivalries everybody knows about. And the simple fact is they've been playing, Arizona and Arizona State been playing since the 1800s, right? So it's as long as rivalry as those are, oldest rivalry cup. We all know that story. But the reason it's not in the vernacular nationally is that simple fact, is that Michigan and Ohio State have played each other as top 10 ranked teams, DK. Look at the last 6 years. It's number 1 versus number 5 or number 2 versus number 3 every single time. And they always face up late in the year, right? Face off late in the year. So this is after you've proven yourself through your course of your schedule. Being ranked in the top 5, top 10 means that both programs are and everybody was so elated last year to see what Arizona did. Nobody expected them to have quite the season that they had last year with the winning streak at the end. ASU had a down year. Now you turn around here to 2024 and the script is flipped again. So what did you say? Arizona State was picked 12th in the Big 12?
16th.
It's 16th. And
16th out of 16.
Currently have a chance to win the conference at 6-3 like everybody else.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just the same exact story over and over, DK. And I, for one, I'm not trying to speak for all Arizona fans or all Arizona State fans. I personally would love it nothing more than to see both these programs trend upward to the point where they play each other consistently with 8-9 wins on the season and trying to make it to a big bowl game, because that just brings more attention. And guess what? More national attention on the rivalry brings a higher quality of recruit to both programs. So it's only beneficial when these two teams match up in the biggest game of the year, when both of them have something to play for at the end of the year.
Indeed. All right, I want to tell you about a sweet deal before we get out of here on this hour. It comes to you Friday. I gave you 2 sweet deals last week. I got another one for you this week. Dave and Buster's, $25 power play card and a $25 food gift card for just $25. Normally, it costs you $50 to get these 2 things. That sweet deal is going to go on sale for you Friday morning, 8:30 a.m., Wildcats Radio, 1290.com. Dave and Buster's is the best place to eat, watch, drink, and play. Watch all your favorite sports on massive 120-inch HD TVs. If you don't have a ticket to Arizona Stadium for this Saturday, head on over to Dave & Buster's and watch the game there. It is, in fact, the best place outside the stadium to see the games this football season. Dave & Buster's, a sweet deal, $25 power play card, a $25 food gift card, all of that for just $25 this Friday, 8:30 a.m. over at Wildcats Radio, 1290.com. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. DK on the sports tip, and you are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We have accident with injury at East University and North 4th Avenue, so if you're in the West University section of town, do be aware if you're traveling down University Boulevard, you'll see some slowing there. Also, that widening work at Twin Peaks Road continuing between Silverbell and Quarry Road. You'll see the road shift from Quarry Road to White Stallion Ranch to the south, as they will continue that work till November of 2025. For your weather, we're about ready to go and hit 72 as we continue to go ahead and cool into the 60s tonight. I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
When you donate a toy, we will donate a toy. It's our annual gift back to our community. We're collecting new, unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots. And for every toy you donate, we'll donate another. For every $1 you donate, we'll match it. At Alaskan AC, we believe every kid should have a gift under the tree on Christmas morning. That's why we've partnered with the Marine Corps Toys for Tots once again. Since 1947, they've collected over 670 million toys, putting smiles on the faces of over 300 million kids. And your donations stay right here in town. You can stop by our offices or hand your donation to one of our polar bears when they are at your home. Alaskan AC loves having fun, but we're serious about helping kids. So serious, we're matching your donation. We'll donate a toy for every one you donate and match cash donations dollar for dollar. Let's make sure every child has a Merry Christmas. For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats!
Online, on your phone with the Freedom 1400 app, on your smart speaker, or on the air. No matter how you listen, stay on the right side of the conversation all day long with Freedom 1400 AM. Start your morning with Brian Kilmeade from 6 to 9 a.m., followed by Dan Bongino keeping it fiery until noon. Then Chris Plant takes over from noon to 3, and you can drive home with Jimmy Fallon from 3 to 6 p.m.
Conservative talk for Tucson is Freedom
1400 AM.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIP to 321-321. That's TIP to 321-321.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on ASU this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine life, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
You know, this is vastly different. There's a lot of clapping, a lot of hugging, a lot of handshaking.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the program on this Monday of Territorial Cup week. I haven't even given you our question of the day yet today, so why don't we do that? We lost one of our giants in the world of television game shows over the weekend. Chuck Woolery passed away at the age of, I believe, 89. Let's Jada play his probably the most famous saying that people remember Chuck Woolery by.
Hear everything that happened on that date. We'll do it in 2 and 2. Be right back.
2 and 2. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I don't think people really knew how long commercials were until Chuck Woolery said, we'll do it in 2 and 2. 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Chuck Woolery hosted a number of different game shows over the course of his life on television. So head on over to our Twitter account right now, Wildcats 1290, no radio, just Wildcats 1290, and you can vote in our poll. What was your favorite game show hosted by the late, great Chuck Woolery? Is it Wheel of Fortune? Because he hosted Wheel of Fortune first. He, in fact, I believe, was, if not the first host of Wheel of Fortune, he was one of the first hosts of Wheel of Fortune, was Chuck Woolery. The Dating Game. Remember The Dating Game from the early 1970s? A lot of these probably predate you, J-Dub.
Is that the one with Whoopi?
Making Whoopi, yep.
Yeah, I remember.
The Dating Game, Scrabble, and Love Connection. So he actually did a couple that were based around dating and love. The Dating Game and Love Connection. So head on over right now. You can vote on any of those 4 choices. And if you have another one, leave it in the comments. Wheel of Fortune, I think he hosted maybe 2 or 3 other game shows as well. Chuck Woolery, a legend, gone at the age of 89. But what was your favorite game show that he hosted? Right now, it's a tie. 40% of you saying Wheel of Fortune. The other 40% saying Love Connection. I cannot remember. I don't know that I remember Chuck Woolery on Wheel of Fortune. I didn't really start watching Wheel of Fortune until the 80s. But I definitely remember Love Connection. That's probably, I mean, I watched Dating Game too. Dating Game was when I was young. Love Connection was, I think he did that into the 80s. So that was like one of the big ones, popular ones when I was in high school and early college years. So I definitely remember Chuck Woolery on Love Connection. So that if I'm voting Love Connection. Do you remember, do you have a favorite, J-Dub? Are you old enough to have a favorite?
Yeah, no, I mean, when I think of Chuck Woolery, I think of those dating shows. Isn't that the one where they had the 3 contestants behind the wall and one not? Was that one?
That was Dating Game.
Dating Game, yeah.
Yeah, Love Connection was they would talk about their date, and then, I think the guy, if she wanted to go on another date with the guy, or the guy wanted to go on another date with the girl, then they would bring them out, kind of thing. And they would talk about, kind of how it all went down on the date that they went.
Right.
So, yeah, let's see if I can find the years on some of these here. Love Connection was 83 to 94. So, yeah, that was essentially my high school and college years.
Yeah, it was high school for me.
Wheel of Fortune was 75 to 81. So, he predated Pat Sajak, who went on to obviously host it until a couple of years ago.
And Vanna White was born in 1981, so there's no way she was on those shows.
No, she was not on that one. Dating Game was so he did the 90s version of Dating Game. So so then I'm thinking more of the 60s and 80s version of Dating Game. So he did the Dating Game, the second version of Dating Game.
Right.
So I don't know that
the reboot.
So some people might remember him from that, but I definitely don't remember him from that. Love Connection is really the one I remember him mostly from. So you can vote on that over at our website or our Twitter account, Wildcats1290. 520-848-1290. We've been talking about the ASU U of A game. There were some dramatics at the end of the ASU BYU game on Saturday over at Mountain Financial Stadium. Let's hear how that went down.
Instead, Levitt going to back up and just throw it deep. Clock's at 2, at 1, it lands at 0, and the game's over. What a win for Arizona State. So they're going to look at this to make sure that the clock is at 000. They're going to review it to double check, because if not, BYU would have one play. So they're going to have to clear the field here to make sure the clock did hit 0 when that ball went out of bounds. And still work to do to get the goalpost back up. You got to get the goalposts fixed and the fans off the field.
It doesn't matter though, but they could get an extra. They could get the ball at the spot of the pass.
There's only 10 guys on the field right now for Arizona State. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now there's 11. They just got the 11th guy on. Retzlaff steps up, moving to his right, hoists it deep. And it's underthrown, and it was caught but short of the goal line. It was caught by Chase Roberts, but it doesn't matter. The game is over, and now they can celebrate. Arizona State with the win.
Yeah, that was crazy. And you know, and I like what Kenny Dillingham has done with that program. I mean, obviously, you know, he's probably going to be coach of the year, and they're going to have to come up with a bag. Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of SEC
What's he, like,
teams.
23?
Something like that. Maybe a little bit older than 23.
He's the youngest coach in America. It has to be.
I think he's mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But his screaming and yelling at the referees, I thought was a little bit over the top there. You don't need to be, I mean, you're not a college kid. You don't have to be demonstrative like that. I mean, you're the coach of a college football team, so I didn't necessarily think that was a good look for him.
I think it was
to
more
be
embarrassing
in that huddle, like yelling at the refs, like no way, there's another
DK,
play.
That was pure embarrassment on his behalf.
Well, he should have been,
because he's the one who instructed his quarterback to go and run back 7 yards and then throw the ball out of bounds. That was clearly instructed. Now, obviously, the QB could have held on to the ball for maybe another count, and that way it would have been a no doubt the clock had run out before the ball touched the ground. I think, you know, clearly because he had made the choice, DK, to make that happen. Here was a situation where the fans, you know, as we were talking about earlier when we had the caller on, had Paul and Phoenix on. The refs waved their hands in that sign as the game was over, and so the fans stormed the field when the ref signaled that the game was over. Clearly, the replay showed that there should have been a second on it. I mean, I think it's a young guy who's clearly hot, and if they were playing any other team, it might have been a different response. But playing another 9-1 team, DK, the team that had been, you know, in the conversation to go to the college football playoffs in BYU before they had lost the week before, it was just the stake of the game, I think, more than anything. But he's the one who made the call. He's the one who instructed his quarterback to do that twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, Arizona State in a position to play for the Big 12 Conference Championship if they beat Arizona here in Tucson on Saturday. Sun Devils have opened as a 9-point favorite in that game. And we'll have it for you right here at 1:30 on Saturday.
You know, rooting interests aside, I would have liked to have seen that Hail Mary be successful just for the simple fact of just the view, the you know, imagery of it all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the goalpost coming down and then there being 5,000, 6,000 fans on the field at the time. They had to clear it all off. I mean, there was a lot of people on that field. The idea of having to call all the players back on, get all the fans off, and put another second on the clock, I don't care who was playing. This has nothing to do with Arizona State, but I would have liked to have seen that Hail Mary be successful just because of the story that it would have told.
We are joined by the third member of our program today. Cricket is off. Dragon Ball is in with traffic. Dragon Ball is a graduate of Northern Arizona, and the Lumberjacks are in the FCS playoffs.
Going against Abilene Christian.
How about that?
Ooh, man, I was nervous. I thought they were going to be one of those first teams out when the final brackets were released. Everyone kept saying they're going to be one of those teams. They're going to be one of those teams that are going to be in. I just kept thinking they're going to leave us out for some reason. They're just going to find a way to leave us out. But we're in, and as they always say, all you need to do is get to the dance, and you can do damage.
There you go. NAU, number 21 in the FCS rankings, finished 8-4 in the season. They won their last 5 games to get into this party. First time they've been in the postseason since 2017. And so, as you mentioned, they'll face number 15 seed Abilene Christian. That will be on Saturday in a game that will kick off at 1 p.m. in Arizona here. And looks. I mean, again, it's a great opportunity for them. Seventh time all-time that the Lumberjacks have been to the postseason. Did they make the postseason any of the years you were there?
I don't recall if they did. There was a couple of years where they had some pretty good teams. I remember Zach Bowman was their star running back when I was at Northern Arizona, and he actually got a training camp invite for the Cardinals once upon a time, but I think that was about as far as that went for him. We all really, really appreciated the work that he did when we were working with the Student Media Center, because he was very cordial with us, because he would always be there for interviews and things like that. But he was a fantastic player when I was there, and I'm happy to see this generation of the Lumberjacks really kind of stepping up there.
I think that game is in Abilene, not Arizona.
Yeah.
No, I meant time in terms of the 1 p.m. Arizona time. Yeah, they're on the road for that game. I was referring to the kickoff time.
That's a tough place to win too. Abilene Christian's not an easy place to win.
No, it isn't. No, talk about a lot of purple at TCU. There'll be a lot of purple at Abilene Christian, because that's one of their school, or one of their colors as well. So the Lumberjacks have only advanced past the first round one time, and that was 2003 when they went to the quarterfinals. So what years were you there again?
I had to have been there right around the beginning of the 2010s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right. There you go. All right. So congratulations to NAU for making it to the FCS, or 1AA, whatever you want to call it. I'm still old school. The 1AA playoffs, and as the number 17 in the country. There we go. So we'll be rooting for them on Saturday. Dragon Ball is getting you home, and he'll be getting my beer to me tomorrow.
Will be getting there, yet.
And we'll show a picture of that on our social media coming up for you tomorrow. Right now, though, traffic and weather every 20 minutes on the pod.
And from the Riley Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Eastbound, westbound Grant Road, I'd remind you of this. At Country Club to east of Alvernon Way, that's all down to one lane of widening work right now. Grant and Alvernon has 2 northbound and southbound travel lanes to maintain as you approach and pass Grant, but no left turns permitted there until the end of the month. You will be able to access the businesses there, but only with right turn movements in and out of those businesses. For your weather right now, we're about 73 degrees. We're getting ready to go ahead and drop into the 60s here as we get ready to go ahead and actually hit about the high 50s once we get to about 9 o'clock later on tonight. And I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Hey Tucson, tune in each weekday from noon to 3 p.m. for the Rich Eisen Show right here on the home of Arizona Wildcats football.
Under pressure and the ball is loose. The Cats have got it.
Men's and women's basketball and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Marco! Polo! Marco! Polo!
In a giant pool of business competitors, don't be the one left unseen and out of reach. If you're a business owner and need help with your online presence, let's make it happen. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Boost your website, boost your findability, boost your reputation, boost your business.
Marco?
Yes, I'm Marco. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson bring their unique take on sports entertainment with no contest wrestling, with guests like WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry.
What is that night like for you as world champion?
I remember getting in my hotel. I'm looking at the chair with the title on it, and I remember crying. I couldn't believe that it was in my room and that I was sitting here looking at this title like it was a person.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network, wherever you listen.
All the Who's down in Husan liked great deals a lot, but the Grinch, who lived on top of Mount Lemmon, did not. But he went to O'Reilly for the holidays to trade in his sleigh, and the price he got from his trade grew 5 times that day. This holiday season, come to the dealership even a Grinch can love. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check us out at O'Reilly.com. Because at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we prefer that you visit us live. See us this holiday season, and together, let's drive.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McHale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The Orlando Pride are NWSL champions for the first time in franchise history. On Saturday, Orlando defeated the Washington Spirit 1-0 in the championship game, thanks to a first-half goal from Barbara Banda that proved to be the difference maker. Banda rocketed one past Spirit goalkeeper Aubrey Kingsbury with a left-footed shot in the 37th minute to give Orlando a lead that they never relinquished. The Pride, who only had one top-5 finish since joining the league in 2015, were the best team all season, going undefeated through their first 23 games, a league record. Banda, who scored her 4th goal of the postseason, was named championship MVP.
It's the moment that we've been waiting for, and definitely it was a day for us, and we did work so hard for it, and we've been looking forward for this. We've been determined throughout the season, so I think we deserve it.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Olivia Harlan-Decker on Westwood One.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It's a big week of college basketball. Arizona men's basketball at the Battle of Atlantis. They'll play 3 games down there. Davidson, we know, is the first game on the schedule. We're not sure who will be after that. Well, Providence or Oklahoma will be the second game, depending on who wins and who loses in those first-round games. The women also have a tournament coming up over at the Acrisure Invitational. That'll be over in Palm Springs, where the men played against Michigan State last year. In fact, the Wildcat ladies got a win on Saturday night over Grambling State. Now, this game was a 1-point game at the half. Second half, though, the Wildcats got it done.
The Wildcats with the ball, 1:11 to go, leading 3, trying to go to the left block. Cunningham get this one to a running Jones, who was able to get the initial entry pass and then finish. 8 points for Schuyler. The Wildcats are up 5, 1 minute to go. Now the pass is deflected, stolen away to Jones. Up front, short hop pass for Williams, starts moving to the left. Adjusts her shot in midair as she kisses it off the glass to score it. Cats now lead 7. Kick it out, Dew. Extra pass to the corner. 3 on the way, Swan. And Arizona has its largest lead. Long pass up front, Swan. She's going to step back, try a wide open 3, and another. 63-49. Right back to a cutting Williams. Has the ball poked away from behind. Along the baseline, she gets this to Swan. Steps left, goes along the baseline. Now the Euro step to the left is going to get the finish. Lauren Swan with a point explosion here in the fourth quarter. She's got 8. 10 overall. As now the dribble is taken away by Williams in the backcourt. She has to adjust her shot to the rim, score that one. She's got to be careful, as she was flirting with a technical foul, as the Wildcats now lead 18.
What did Derek Palmer, did he say point explosion? Derek Palmer inventing words over there. I like that, though. A point explosion from one Lauren Swan as she continues to play extremely well. The true freshman guard out of New York would finish that game the other night with 17 points, 5 of 10 from the floor. 84-60 was the
Lauren
final.
Swan with a point explosion here in the
We got to turn that into a promo there, J-Dub. A point explosion from Lauren Swan. The disappointing thing, though, 27 turnovers by Arizona in this game. They just that has been a huge issue with this team through these first, now what are they? 5-1, 4-1, 6-1. Sorry, 6-1.
6-0 when Jada plays.
Yeah, Jada was back. Thank goodness. She was in concussion protocol earlier in the weekend when they lost at NAU. But she was back. 4 of 13, 0 of 3 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line. 13 points for Jada in that contest. Let's see here. How long was this one? Let's hear Adia with Derek after the game, and we'll save her comments. Adia talked today as well. We'll give you that tomorrow. But let's hear what Adia had to say after the game with Derek Palmer.
Coach, your team has 18 first half turnovers, like the 18 Grambling points. What was leading to those opportunities for the Tigers?
Just fundamentals. Just their press is really speeding us up, and we just have to really work on our passing and our fundamentals.
What was the difference between the first and second half regarding holding on to the basketball?
Well, we talked about it and talked about why we're doing it and how we're doing it, and just that we had to be really conscious of it because it wasn't one person. It was everybody had a couple. But we still, 27 turnovers, 9 assists, it's hard to win games.
I took the over on the foul count. That was an awful lot. How do you coach a game that has that many whistles, that much contact, that much physical?
There could have been like 20 more. Yes, it was a physical. They play really physical, and they were out-muscling us in a lot of ways. They were getting a lot of 50-50 balls. We've been talking about our 50-50 balls. They were much better today. But we have to get a little stronger and tougher with the ball. And we can't let teams kind of push us around.
Had Jada Williams back in the rotation.
Yeah,
how was her presence and influence with that physical play?
She's just so important for what we do, and she runs us, and she plays hard, she dives, she brings so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet. And she had been out. She had been out a few days, so have her back, and Lauren was out for a couple of days, so having them back is a big difference. But she's our floor general, so we just play with a lot more poise when she's here. Along
similar lines, Montea Dew winds up giving you 24 minutes, and it seems like she's getting a lot more of a look, despite not necessarily really stuffing the stat sheet. What is she doing for your rotation?
Well, she does. She's very, very valuable. She's so smart. She can guard different positions. She's solid. So when things are chaotic, she brings us poise, and I think Paulina does the same thing. Montea's not going to go in and force shots or go on a fast break and just jack a shot up. So she's super steady, reliable. You know what you're going to get. She's smart. She's rebounding really well right now. And just solid. So I think we haven't even seen her best basketball yet, but she's getting that time. Because remember, she was out for 2 years. So every game she's getting a little better.
Your team scores 84 points despite only making 2 3-pointers against a really pesky defense that is known for turning teams over.
We almost lost some shoulders, but we...
What does this say about your offense that you're able to put up those kind of numbers despite not getting a lot of production from behind the arc?
It's really good. Basically the one who was hitting a lot of shots from the three with Lauren, or it was only a couple, it felt like more. I'm fine with that because the way we were being played, we have to, but when we go inside, we have to go in a little stronger. Like we're working with Ja on when she goes in, going off 2 feet. But I think letting them kind of block us behind, we have to be stronger. And that's a mentality, and we have to definitely bring that as we progress. Since this tournament in Palm Springs, we play Vanderbilt, and we play some good teams. So we just have to be a little bit more physical. And then we'll get those 50-50 balls. We'll get those and ones, and we'll jump stuff and go with power so they'll cut down our turnovers.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that was Adia Barnes after the game on Saturday. 84-60 win over Grambling State. Arizona Volleyball also won on Saturday, senior day. They won 5 in a row. Has Tarita Stubbs' crew. They've got 2 games left. The new RPIs came out today for volleyball, and we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. We'll give you those numbers. Probably not as good as the ladies would have wanted. And so, and there's not really, again, they're playing some teams that aren't going to really improve their RPI. So it's going to be a bubble. It's going to be a bubble situation for Arizona Volleyball for them to get into. Well, we'll just tell you now, they're 44 is where their RPI is. They probably need to be in the 30s to have a chance to really get in, but 44 is square on the bubble with 2 games remaining. Again, they would get to 20-9 overall and 9-9 in conference play. And we had said last week, I mean, they could win out, but that wasn't going to be a guarantee just because all these teams they're beating are at the bottom half of the conference. And so you're not getting a lot of those positive RPI points out of these wins against the Cincinnatis and the
they were picked
West
to finish
Virginias of the world.
Like 13th, right?
I do believe they were picked to finish 13th.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-9 in conference. They're right in the middle, so right around 8th.
Right.
And, chances are they're not going to slide past Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Colorado, so they're going to finish 8th or 9th DK this season. Even if they are on that bubble and don't make the NCAA tournament, it's progress in the right direction.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Especially
is.
on this 5-game winning streak. And there's been some moments this year, clearly shining moments, and the freshmen have been shown out.
Well, again, and to get to this 5-game winning streak, one, they had to beat one of the best teams in the country in Kansas, and they had to go on the road and win 3 times. I mean, even though Cincinnati and West Virginia and Colorado, I mean, Colorado beat them here, and I know they're going to look back at that game. That was a game that they had and they kind of let slip away. I mean, you always look at that when you're on the bubble and you don't get in. You look at those 1 or 2 games that could have been different, and that Colorado game here earlier in the year is one of those games where they should have won that game and they didn't. And that could be that one game that costs you an opportunity, just like with soccer. You go down to Houston, a winless team, and you lose that game. And it ends up probably costing you an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament.
So Arizona has 5 wins in a row, and the school up north has 15 wins in a row.
Yeah. Well, they're good. Yeah, that team's good.
What seed are they? I mean, they're 28-2 right now.
Yeah, they're going to be. I don't know that. I think they do national seeding, so they're going to be a national seed. They're probably going to host, I would imagine.
They have an RPI currently of 9th.
Yeah, and they're 9. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be right there for sure. Arizona State for a second straight year. I mean, they went to the Sweet 16 last year. So they're going to be right in the mix again this year. 2 more games left for Arizona volleyball. Again, they have a split week this week like they did last week where they played 1 game at home and 1 game on the road. So they'll have to go on the road this week, and they'll do that. The final game, they'll play Central Florida at home Wednesday. That's going to be an afternoon game at McHale Center, obviously with the holiday the next day. That'll be a 1 o'clock game for the season home finale at McHale Center. And then Friday actually will be a day game as well, a noon first serve at Lubbock against Texas Tech. So they need to win them both to have a shot to go to the NCAA tournament. All right, I want to give you, as we're coming up on Monday Night Football here in about 45 minutes, I got 3 BetQL top plays to give you on this game. All 3, I got 2. I got a prop play, and I got 2 other plays for you. We took some L's over the weekend. We had the Chiefs -11, and the Panthers gave them a little bit better game than that. That game went down to the end with, again, Kansas City finding a way to win at the end. Like Pat Mahomes, it just knows how to win.
I saw the greatest stat, DK. There are, I don't know the exact number, but there's a certain number of teams who have started off 10-1, right? The Kansas City Chiefs of this year have the second worst point differential of any team ever to the Oakland Raiders of the mid-'70s, 1976 or something. So they're outscoring their opponents by fewer than any other team out of the 25 teams that started 10-1 in the history of the NFL.
Interesting.
So it's not just this game; it's every single game they're winning by the
winning late.
Skin of their teeth.
Winning late, but that's good. Good teams do. Good teams know how to finish, and they know how to finish. So we took the L on the point spread that game. Chiefs -11. We did hit on the over, which was over 43 at 57. So we hit on that. We lost both our college games. Virginia +9.5. against SMU, but the SMU's club went down there and blew out the Cavaliers 33-7. And we also took an L on Georgia -42. That game came in at 38 as the Bulldogs beat UMass by a count of 59-21. So tonight's 3 plays, we'll give you the play on the line first. This is a 5-star best bet from BetQL. Chargers +3 at home tonight over the Ravens. This game is at SoFi in Los Angeles. So Chargers +3. In terms of the over-under, you're taking the under on this game. I think there's only been 1 game so far this year where the Chargers have had on the over. So Chargers and Ravens under 51. That's a 4-star best bet, courtesy of the BetQL model. And then Justin Herbert, here's your prop play for tonight. Justin Herbert over 255.5 yards passing. So Justin Herbert, take the over on 255.5 yards passing. Chargers, Ravens under 51, and Chargers +3 over the Ravens. Those are your 3 best bets tonight. Knock them out over at the Desert Diamond Casino at the Sportsbook. Those best bets coming courtesy of the BetQL top BetQL model, which we partner with on a national level here.
I have the official Chiefs that I was talking about.
Yes.
So 65 teams, DK, have started 10-1 in the history of the NFL, and the Chiefs this year are currently +51. So it's the second worst point differential all time among teams who started 10-1.
All right, there you go, +51. And they'll just keep winning. All right, we'll have our Desert Diamond Casino replay and a few more tidbits when we come back. DK on the sports tip. You on the phones, 520-848-1290. Call or text us with your memories, your Territorial Cup game memories. We want to hear those all week long here on our various programs, or send them to us, and we'll talk about them as well. Dragon Ball getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Update about the crash at Valencia Road in Calle Santa Cruz. Westbound Valencia is still showing a lot of backup at that crash, but eastbound Valencia looks like it's starting to clear up there going towards the I-19. The Silverbow Road Bridge also closed at the Blanco Wash through January as they continue the bridge improvements. Your weather is at 72 degrees right now. We continue to go and drop into the 60s here once we get to 6 o'clock. And I'm Dragon Ball with you, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on ASU this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine life, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on Arizona State. Kickoff is scheduled for 1:30 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Handoff will go to Hubbard in the end zone, and he's tackled for the safety.
Let's go, Arizona! Brent Brennan in the middle of it, jumping around. You know, wins are hard to get, and you got to celebrate them when you get them. I love this. Yeah. If the coaches ain't excited about what's going on and can't get up for the game, then they shouldn't be over there.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
It's another episode in the continuing story of Tobacco Barn's fight to save Tucsonans on their favorite tobacco products.
The other store prices are so high.
I'm Captain Tobacco.
My hero.
Who's responsible for these outrageous prices? I am. Pardon me while I teach this fellow some manners.
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Hooray! When your tobacco savings are stolen, get to Tobacco Barn.
Get up to 40% off. Pay no city or state sales tax. And up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Captain Tobacco, I could just kiss you.
I know, ma'am. Animal magnetism. It's a gift I have to live with.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Marco
Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber.
Right here.
Plumber.
Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. What a dreadful weekend it was for some of the top dogs in the SEC. Jalen Milroe was horrible as Alabama got blown out by Oklahoma. Jackson Dart got intercepted twice late to lose to Florida. And Texas A&M lost in an overtime heartbreaker to Auburn. And all three of those teams now have 3 losses and shouldn't make the playoff unless the committee decides to screw over a 2-loss ACC team in a few weeks. I'm Zach Gelb.
Arizona football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Place a first touchdown scorer wager today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the 1982 Arizona State game, which the Wildcats won at the stadium 28-18. That was the game, the famed Brian Holland 92-yard touchdown reception. I was just watching a video of that on YouTube that was set to yacht rock music. Kenny Loggins, This Is It. I love it. I love it that yacht rock. That was those times.
That was the era, DK.
Yeah, 1982. Right there. That's what we loved about that era. Some great
I think
music.
Every movie from 1982, 83, 84 had a Kenny Loggins song in it.
He was great, man. He was a legend. Legendary Kenny Loggins. All right, not a great day offensively for the Cardinals Sunday in Seattle.
Oh, Murray keeps it. Murray being chased by Witherspoon. Floats for Wilson. Off target to Kobe Bryant. And there goes Kobe Bryant. With a house call for Seattle. And a Marshawn Lynch homage.
Kobe, I never knew that there was an NFL player named Kobe Bryant until that interception yesterday. 16-6, Seattle beats the Cardinals. Offense couldn't do a whole lot. Kyler, 24-37, 285. Did throw that one interception, was sacked 5 times in the game. Their ground game was just non-existent.
Here's the official. I mentioned the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Ready? So what we have is punt, 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 field goal, punt, touchdown, punt, end of half.
Yeah.
So that's
still a lot of possessions in the first half.
Yeah, but they were all 4 plays, 6 plays, 6 plays, 4 plays, 6 plays, 3 plays. That was the first 6 possessions, all punts. So neither team had it going offensively.
Kind of reminds me that I was watching a little bit of that USC-UCLA game. That was an offensive struggle. I felt bad for Eric Bieniemy, who is now the offensive coordinator for UCLA. I mean, here's a guy who used to be calling plays for Patrick Mahomes. Talk about the Chiefs and their comebacks and knowing how to win. Here's a guy who was calling plays for Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Patrick Kelsey, and now he's calling plays for a putrid UCLA offense that couldn't get out of its own way Saturday night at the Rose Bowl on a rainy night at the Rose Bowl. The one bright spot, Trey McBride continues to play well. 12 catches, 133 yards, but a 16-6 loss. After the game, Kobe Bryant he did a little bit of a Marshawn Lynch celebration there.
He went backwards. Went backwards into the end zone, yeah.
Kobe, at what point of that return did you decide you were going to do a Marshawn celebration?
Yeah. Well, actually, I talked to my dad and my brother before every game, and I just sensed the energy from those two before the game. And I told them, like, once I get a pick six, I was doing that just because, we were playing the Cardinals and everything. So.
What are you going to do with the ball? Okay, you still have the ball in your hands there?
Yeah, I definitely still have the ball. It's actually my mom's birthday, so what a coincidence, and I'm going to give it to her as one of her gifts. So.
All right, well, happy birthday, Moms Bryant, after Kobe got the interception, the pick six. Kyler Murray, let's hear from him on that interception and just the struggles of the offense on Sunday.
We have a play that we've successfully run here in the past. 21 did a good job of redirecting. Obviously, he's a good player with good feel. So he kind of made it tough, to get the corner once I felt like I wasn't gonna get the corner. Obviously, it's on me. Can't get them 7 points, especially when our defense is playing the way that they're playing. I feel like if I don't do that, we're in the game 4 quarters. Because that's the way it was trending. It's the defense. The defense is battling their ass off. Did everything that we needed for them to do to win the game. Offensively, we got to be better. We didn't hold up our end of the bargain finishing the red zone.
All right, that was Kyler Murray after the ball game last night, taking some ownership, which is good to see. I mean, there's been times in the past where he hasn't taken ownership in those situations where he would blame it on the scheming or whatever not. Again, at that point, it was a 7-3 game, and you're in it, and that kind of turned the momentum there and gave the Seahawks a 10-point advantage in a game you eventually lose 16-6. So Seattle now in first place ahead of the Cardinals. Both teams are 6-5, but Seahawks are holding the advantage of the top spot at the moment. And again, another road game coming up at Minnesota. And I think this is important. I think this game at Minnesota is real important because if you go to 6-6, then all bets are off. But I think if you can get back to 7-5, coming home I think you got a couple of really easier games with, I think it's Carolina and somebody else that's not very good coming to town. I think you got a shot. So this is a very, very, very huge game coming up Sunday in Minnesota for the Cardinals. All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we've been talking about the Jacory Croskey-Merritt situation, the running back who's been held out since week 1. Is he eligible? Is he ineligible? The Arizona athletics and football program has not said whether he is or hasn't been declared ineligible by the NCAA. They just haven't played him. So we're going on the assumption that they have not found out that he's ineligible to this point. We discussed it on the pregame show on Saturday. I wanted you to hear the perspective of 2 guys that played for the University of Arizona in Glenn Howe and Kelvin Ifan. Here was our conversation Saturday about the Jacory Croskey-Merritt situation.
Well, you mentioned Jacory Croskey-Merritt. For the record, I did ask the head coach about that a couple of weeks ago, if he had even thought or there had been any discussions about just going ahead and playing Jacory at this point, and he flat out said, no, we have not even thought about that.
He's still number one on the depth chart, too. And let me say this. And I was talking to DK, and I said I would play him because of the simple fact of the kid has done everything that you've asked him to do at this point.
Yeah.
And the NCAA has just been dragging their legs,
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever you want to call it, and I just feel like that with the kid doing everything that he should have done, the season isn't going quite which way you want it to go. Hey, why not show that you have these guys back? I understand, coach, and I understand the requirements. You said he's still on the depth chart. Take him off the depth chart.
I know.
The depth chart then, but no, I truly feel that way. If I was a head coach, that's the type of chance that I would take, and to show my guys how much I believed in them and how much I appreciated them coming to this school, because bringing them in knowing that this situation could happen, because everybody knew about this because because I think it was a little hiccup somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knew about this. I don't even think he would be here because I think that's why the other school ended up letting him go.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But everybody kind of knew about it, and I understand at the beginning of the year because you have championship aspirations and big bowl game aspirations. But to this point, man, this kid been here working the whole time, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Put him on the field.
Let the NCAA know.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, guys, we're tired of you guys, man. Like make your decision and let's go from there.
That's what I say. I think they should play him, man. I think they should.
That's coming from old players.
Yeah.
I ain't got to worry about the repercussions of
exactly.
and everything.
We
But I'm
ain't gonna
telling you,
lose
though, as a head coach, that would would be talking to compliance. I would be talking to the president of the school and everybody, and they would have to tell me in my eyes why they didn't think it was right for that kid not to have an opportunity to play when he trusted us with his last little bit of eligibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting right there. And we'll see. I think definitely. There was a part of me, and I don't know that they would do this, but there was a part of me that wonders if they've already found out and they just aren't saying,
which is terrible.
Yeah.
And my issue is, here's what my issue with the situation. It's guys that we see has played 7 years.
Yeah.
It's guys coming off the COVID and played 5 and 6 years. So what is the deal here? And he went to I think it was like Bethune-Cookman. I'm not trying to disrespect.
I think it was Alcorn State.
Alcorn State or whatever. So
states.
how is these guys coming up with all this eligibility in these other places? And you're saying I'm lost. That's all I'm saying. They're figuring 7, 8 years. Come on, man. What's going on?
Yeah. It's sad. It's
really
Cam
sad. Rising's on year 7.
Yeah.
How?
Cam Rising's on
That's
year
all I'm saying.
20. He's getting Social Security, man.
Because if the kid really played that year, there would be film of him playing 5 or 6 games. If he played even 3 games, from what I'm noticing of these guys getting hurt, getting injury, then you should get, especially coming from some of those HBCUs that are underfunded programs where they can't even feel. They don't even know if he was there.
Yeah.
So that right there should tell you right there that probably shouldn't count, right? So what's the difference when this kid is like, he's probably 21?
Yeah.
This kid's out there playing 25 and 26 and 27, DK, so I don't get it. I don't get it. He must have been a special weapon that they knew about and they didn't want him here or something, because I'm confused.
I definitely would like to know. I think we would all like to know what's going on in that situation and why the NCAA either has not said or the Wildcats have not said.
Yeah,
and I say one thing.
Yeah.
And one guy does matter. You take that running back off Boise State and tell me who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
One guy, the way Mary looked in that beginning, the first couple games, he made Conley look better. I mean, come on, man. He made everybody look better. So you take that one type of running back, 1,000-yard rusher off, and you got a different team.
Yeah, and also, man, I think this guy's got a case, man. He's got a case against them. I mean, he's got a case.
Maybe that's what they're doing. They're saving the case for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's look at the bright side.
Maybe I hope he gets some lettuce out of this, man.
Well, it was good to see him. He's still down there with a smile on his face.
He is. We saw him on the sideline. He was totally positive.
Yeah, uplifted my spirit.
And I'm like, damn, dude, I feel sorry. I'm like ready to cry.
I'd be over there hot. I'd be like, I can't wait out here. I came out here to play football.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
And JD, I want to get your thoughts on this because I want to go back to what I was doing the comparison about the USC-UCLA game from 2005, which has been vacated, which USC won by almost 50 points. And my whole point on that was that you don't think that we remember what happened that day, even though the NCAA has said that game is vacated. And I heard a lot of comments from yesterday of people that were slapping back at me on this thought was that, sanctions, we'll have to forfeit the game. You're going to go to that game Saturday, and there's going to be a result based on what happens on the football field. You're going to remember that result, maybe for the rest of your life if something dramatic happens in that game. Is it going to matter? And I'll bring it back, the USC game, 19 years ago? Is it going to matter 19 years from now if that game is vacated? Are you suddenly going to forget that you saw Arizona kick Arizona State's ass and keep them out of the college football playoff? Is that going to matter if in a year from now the NCAA says, well, y'all used Jacory Croskey-Merritt, so we're going to vacate that win from your record? It ain't going to matter 19 years from now, because you know what happened. You know, if in fact Arizona goes out there and kicks their ass on Saturday, you're going to know that. I know what happened in 2005 when USC went out there and beat UCLA 66-19. The fact that game is vacated doesn't matter. I know what happened. And that's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah, I mean, a better example closer to home would probably be the best senior year I ever saw, or close to it, was Jason Terry's senior year, David Kelly. And that whole year was vacated. It happened. We all saw it happen. As far as Jacory Croskey-Merritt goes, I am going to let you and Kelvin and Glenn speculate. For me, I heard Coach Brett Brennan say in the very first press conference he ever held that the players who are on the field and participating is what he wants to talk about. And I think that it's unbelievably misguided, unfortunate that he was ruled ineligible after playing that first game. I think it's just stupid that it came after he put stats up for the first game. Here we are in week 13. Whoever's eligible and can get out there to play to make those memories versus Arizona State, those are the players who need to be out there relative to him. And like you said, if they've been given word officially behind the scenes, we're not privy to that information. I just want everybody who is eligible to be out there and able to give their all against a very good team from Tempe needs to be out there and play. And if he's one of those guys, I am going to let you guys speculate and leave that up to the coaching staff. They have far more information than I do. I just know that first game, DK, he was a difference maker.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
I see visions of Tron Candidate and that performance in 1998 with Jacory Croskey-Merritt on the field this Saturday. We'll see if it happens. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Coming up, it's the Brent Brennan Radio Show, the final Brent Brennan Radio Show of the season. So real quick, a few things are going to happen. This is the final Brent Brennan Radio Show. Tommy Lloyd's show is moving to Thursdays this year. So we, starting next week, we'll be carrying Monday Night Football on Mondays here. We won't likely be carrying as many Thursday Night Football games starting December the 12th because of the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show, which will be on Thursday nights. There may be some games we join in progress. We'll have to see exactly. We're working through that whole thing with Westwood 1. But because of the fact that the Wildcats are going to play so many Tuesday men's basketball games during conference play, Tommy has moved his show to Thursday nights. So just be aware that starting on December the 12th, Tommy Lloyd's show will be from the Union Public House on Thursday nights. Final Brett Brennan show tonight. Get out there and support the coach for this Territorial Cup week, which is underway. All right, want to hear all your memories tomorrow as well. We'll be back with you at 3 o'clock. Thanks to J-Dub, thanks to Dragon Ball, and most of all, thanks to you for listening. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip, 3 o'clock. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reminder that westbound I-10 on and off ramps at Sunset remain closed for the I-10 Ida Roof Roth Improvement Project, as well as 6th Street between Stone Avenue and Church Avenue is remaining closed until spring of next year. And as for your weather, we're currently getting to about 72 degrees and getting closer and closer to the 60s as we get towards sunset. I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip. This is the sound of holiday happiness. Yeah, Ready Whip. Fun to use, fun to eat. You're not ready for the holidays without Ready Whip.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
If
you have Arizona season tickets at McHale, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. Its Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
They've locked the doors. You cannot get into McHale Center now. A safety move by the university.
The stories we talk about the athletes who met each other and then eventually got married because all of the weight training used to be done in McHale.
Do we feel bad for the football players? They don't have that interaction anymore?
Just to clarify, you're asking if we feel bad for football players maybe not being able to get dates easily? Is that the question? Because I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all.
No,
we're in the era of NIL, DK.
Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Arizona Sports Enterprises and the University of Arizona proudly present the Brent Brennan Radio Show. Each week, the Cats head coach reviews the previous game and looks ahead to the Wildcats' next opponent. Special guests join us every Monday night, and your questions are always welcome. The Brent Brennan Show comes to you from Union Public House at the corner of Campbell and River in Tucson. Now, let's talk Wildcat football with Coach Brennan. Here's your host, the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's Union Public House, our spot to talk Wildcat football on Monday nights, and this is the wrap-up show of the 2024 season. We look forward to the Territorial Cup coming up on Saturday, 1:30 kickoff at Arizona Stadium. I know it's going to be a beautiful day for football, and it's always a big game when the Cats and the Sun Devils get together, so we hope to see a lot of folks out there, and I know this week the build-up for that is going to be something special as well. It is the nation's oldest rivalry trophy, just throwing that in. But, of course, it's the wins that you look back with the most interest, and we'll talk about some of those as the week goes on. Arizona ASU coming up on Saturday. And so, Coach, before we talk about that game, I'm going to take things in reverse order now before we get to the game. And I want to start out with the recruiting calendar because
your staff's already hard at work recruiting, and then once the season ends on Saturday, more recruiting takes place. So remind us again what the schedule is in terms of contact with players and what your staff will be doing over the next few months.
Yeah, it's actually a crazy change this year, a really significant change in the recruiting calendar in this season. So now after our last game, there's a dead period for a week where no one can come on campus. We can't go out on the road. Back in the day after your last game, that Sunday you left at 7 in the morning. You were on it and flying all over the country. It's much different now. So you have that dead week, and then and then after that, there's 2 weeks of what is called a quiet period. And during a quiet period, recruits can come to you. So that will also, the start of that quiet period will also coincide with the opening of the transfer portal. So that will be a lot of transfer portal visits happening in those 2 weeks. And so that is from the 9th to the 22nd of December. That window is open. And then it goes dead for 2 weeks, and then it goes for a month full Monty. It's on. So but the difference is that now the signing day is on December 4th. So that is Wednesday of next week.
Okay.
So with that signing day happening, that used to be December 15th. So you spent those first 2 weeks of December flying all over the place, meeting with parents, going to their house, eating all this food, all this stuff. And so now it's much different where they're signing at the beginning of December. So it is a drastic change for everybody. It's also, you're talking now, you're having conversations about rev share and how that plays out and what that looks like and contracts. And so it's a heck of a time in college football.
All right. You mentioned when you go to see some recruits, or at least in the years past, that, mom and dad probably might have fed you a meal. Without naming any names, best meal you ever had on a recruiting visit?
It's a slam dunk.
Okay.
Like as soon as you ask a question.
All right.
Long time I was working for Coach Tomey at San Jose State, and one of the players that I was recruiting was from the East Bay, and his dad was the executive chef at the Harris Ranch Steakhouse in downtown San Francisco.
Oh, boy.
And so he brought a bunch of his steaks from his restaurant, and he cooked them at the house, and it was the best steak I ever had. And I went for seconds,
Okay.
I went for seconds on the filet mignon. But great home visit. It was a great win for us because the kid chose us instead of Washington State, and that was the night we found out he was coming to play for us.
Right.
So those are always fun. Now, there's also bad stories.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that again without naming names. Was there ever a meal where you took a bite and told your host that I just had a late lunch today? I'm not.
No, you don't ever do that. You just choke it down.
Okay.
But there was one time where I was with Arizona legend Joe Salavea, and we had to eat this huge Polynesian feast and this dish called lu, which is corned beef in coconut milk wrapped in a taro leaf, and it's the size of a football. And the people that we were meeting with, the mom just kept bringing them.
Okay.
And you just had to keep eating them. And it was the food was good, but the volume was ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
I was glad Salaveo was with me because he helped power through.
That's a good idea. All right. Hey, you mentioned the portal. You mentioned signing day next Wednesday. Then the portal will open up. Can you sign players out of the portal immediately?